Hello. How are we doing there in the great big world? I have a big cat on my lap, and he won't move. He's such a big boy. Hi, Rosser. He decided to feel very cuddly right now. Wow, thank you. I know that I said we might be doing Balatro, and there's a reason I said might, is because we're not. Because I felt like it would be a missed opportunity not to work on this more, since I want to get it done ASAP, because I know that you're like waiting for other commissions to go through, so I don't want you to wait on me as well. So I figured we'd work on it. And we'll see if we can, because my cat is now standing in front of my face tracking on the desk, which is awesome. Can you sit down or stop walking around? Just help me out in any way. Cat stream. Yeah, exactly. I'll turn on my webcam that I don't have. Sit down. Stop walking around. I can't even get to the tablet because he's walking on me. Just lie down. You're so weird. Yeah, oh, hi. Hi, Faust. How's it going? Hey. Ow. Ow. Honey Pine. Is that what I should call you? Kitty Struggles? Yeah, actually. He decided to get very lovey-dovey 3 minutes before stream started. He left me alone all day. And now he won't let me touch my tablet. I can't even get to my pen. Can you stop? Hi, Salty Dog. Welcome in. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing very well. I'm going to attempt to remove the cat from the equation and see if I can't start drawing pictures. He's just sitting here. Hi. He probably weighs like 15 pounds. He's a big boy. He knew you had things to do, demands attention now. That is the most cat thing in the world. You're actually so right. Pics now of cat on your lap. Okay. If you're gonna twist my arm, I'll send a picture of him. Pet pics. Camera. He is... Look at this boy. He's just so in the way. Yeah. Okay. There, Oh. I sent it in pet pics in the Discord. Look at him. He's on my desk. He's trying to eat the microphone. Okay, you're cut off. You're going away. Bye. Oh my gosh, what an absolute rascal. I don't know if that picture conveys how freaking big this boy is. He is a big boy. And now he's meowing at me. He's unhappy that I've removed him from the equation. Cat said, no. You know draw. Nap. Yeah, exactly. He's trying to eat the microphone. It's because there's like a little foamy pop filter on it. And I don't know, it must be crunchy. He wants to eat it. Okay. Now we're back on track. Sorry about that. Minor hiccup. There's not a whole lot I can do about him. He kind of just does what he wants, you know? Such is the life of a cat. Anyway, I'm hoping to get all the flats done this stream. And maybe even start on the sketches for the close-ups. And we're going to have a nice, chill, relaxing stream. Because I had a crazy week. So... for those of you who don't know, I am helping to take photos for a band that my friends are in, and we're driving to a town that's like 3 hours away, and we're doing that tomorrow morning. So, on the one hand, I'm like, I wish I could use that time to get work done. At the same time, you know, they're paying me, which is nice. So, I'm grateful. But they start at 10 p.m. and they play until 2 a.m. So, and it's 3 hours away. So I'm a little not excited for how late it's gonna be, and still nervous, of course. But that's not even the big thing. The big thing is that the other day, my mom and I went to see a tax professional because there's a lot of uncertainty around being a dual citizen of both Canada and the United States. And I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty because it's very boring tax talk. But I think I might have to rescind my American citizenship. And that is not an easy process. Oh my gosh. It's going to be rough. There's so much red tape. I'm gonna have to get like 2 new passports. I'm gonna have to fill out like 5 years worth of information. It's just a nightmare that I'm not looking forward to. And it also doesn't help that it's like tax season right now. So I need to do my taxes right now in the midst of all of this craziness happening. So not great. So heads up, if you don't plan on living in America, don't have your kids there. Just as a word of advice. Oh, we have ads. That's sad. That sounds very stressful. They want taxes from you because you're a partial citizen. I'm technically 100% an American citizen. So yes. Will Aiden finish coloring today? That's a good prediction. We shall see. I think that's a healthily attainable goal, seeing as I usually miss the drawing ones. I think the only drawing ones I've actually gotten finished were one that I like really rushed. Or, you know, I was trying to go real fast. And then the other one where it was like 3/4 of the way drawn already. And then I just finished it. So anyway, very stressful. It cost a lot of money just to have that meeting. And then the guy was like, I can do this for you, and it's only going to cost like $3,000. And I was like, oh, only? Is that right? Only? Yeah, then no, that's pocket change. $3 grand. So we're not doing that. I have to figure it out. But it just really couldn't have happened at a worse time. Like I said, tax season, but also because I'm doing all the photos for my friends in a band. It's like a brand new thing I haven't done before. I'm going to be traveling. It's going to take most of my free time. And I was like, you know what? Because life is so peaceful right now, I'm going to stick my neck out there and do something I wouldn't normally do. And then as soon as I do that, life decides to slap me in the face with a frying pan and go, oh, you thought your life was relaxing? Documents! $3 grand Canadian dollars? Yes, $3 grand Canadian dollars. If it were American dollars, that would be like 5 grand Canadian dollars, which I'm not pleased about. And thank you, Salty Dog. I don't know if you're back from ads. Yeah. Yes. I completely agree. It does kind of suck. But it's okay. We're taking it one day at a time. And at least I'm not in a rush. That's the good thing. That's the positive to all of this, is that I can take some time to make sure that I do it all right. And then there's a whole interview where you have to meet with like a representative, and they like grill you on why you're doing this. But also, it's just A pain that I'd rather not deal with right now. That's it. I'm looking in the Discord and seeing the Today We Feast. It's eating the cat. That's so good. Nom nom. False, you have to do that. My American sister-in-law is married to my Canadian brother, so she has to deal with that type of fuckery. Yeah, so actually, my sister and her husband, aka my brother-in-law, they're both Canadian, but they both live in the States right now. Because my brother-in-law got a job down there, so he has a work visa that he can be there for. But my sister didn't initially. She's working there now, so I think they got that sorted out, but it took them years to get that figured out. The system is not designed to be intuitive. Mostly because I've made no income. Yeah, that's fair. You still have to file, but they're not going to take any money from you. To die from radiation poisoning caused solely by potassium-40 in bananas, you would theoretically need to consume approximately 10 to 50 million bananas at once. I know a guy. I know a guy who could do that. I got a buddy. He's a big banana fan. Sadly, it's not going to be me, though, because I hate bananas. Smoothie time! I shouldn't say I hate bananas. I enjoy banana-flavored things. I enjoy bananas when they're, like Minre said, in smoothies. But bananas on their own make me vomit. Because the texture... Why? Why is the texture like that? Why are they slimy? Why are they sticky? Why do they have hair? I have eaten so many bananas, and I get about halfway through, and I go, I can't take another bite of this or I'm gonna gag. And then I'm like, oh, I have to learn eventually, right? I gotta become accustomed to bananas, and then I take a bite and then I gag. I don't think this is something I can unlearn. I think it's the texture of bananas are just always gonna be off-putting to me. Damn, there go my weekend plans. Oh, what am I gonna do with these 25 million bananas? Don't you ponder the orb every day, brother? I make sure that I gotta get my pondering in. Fair enough, yeah. Okay, I'm glad somebody else agrees. Just realized I can't have smoothies anymore? Oh, that's so sad. You have to chew, not choke on it. I would rather choke on a banana than chew one. The chewing is the problem. I don't like how mushy they get. But like banana bread, delicious. Banana peanut butter smoothie, incredible. Regular banana, Barf Town, Vomit City. Slimy, what kind of bananas are you eating? You know what I mean though. Like they're not slimy on the outside. They're a little bit, you know how you like touch a banana and your finger gets, I don't know, a little bit of the mush on it. And then it's got all the strings. Like, if you took a banana in your hand and squeezed, it would go... That texture. Disgusting. Are you autistic, Aiden? The jury's still out on that one. I have friends who say definitely, but they're not licensed professionals. Bananas are the best when the handle's a bit green. They're sweeter then. I can't get behind it no matter what color they are. Are they green, yellow, or brownish? I always have bananas when they're at the peak yellowness. Before they turn brown, but they're no longer green. I have had bananas when they're brown. It's 1,000 times worse. I've had bananas when they're green, and it feels wrong. Sounds like you're eating overly ripe bananas. But even the green ones, when they're like underripe, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. Same thing. I gag. Every day I get more convinced that you're autistic. As someone with autism, I know how to recognize the signs. You sound just like my friends, False. Because some of them have gotten diagnosed and they for sure have autism. And then they look at me and they're like, yeah, you have it too, Chief. And I'm like, but you don't know. But you don't know. I did watch... I haven't, like, extensively looked into it because I know that it can be dangerous to self-diagnose. But I watched Jacksepticeye's video on it where he talks about his autism diagnosis, and I was like, I have whatever this guy has. I have family members who are like, no, you're not, because you're not exhibiting this or this or this or this. And then I wanted to show them that video because I was like, yeah, well, that's what Jacksepticeye said too. And it's really funny to use Jacksepticeye as your example for this, but I'm dead ass. I feel like he and I have had very similar experiences in this one way. So it could be. If they're too green, they're sour. Guess that's something you need to be raised with. I never had those problems with bananas. I'm sure it's like just a personal opinion because I was raised with bananas. I ate a lot of bananas as a kid and I didn't like them then. And I still don't like them now. I cannot, no matter how hard I try,
says, "Oh, I
get
damn.
myself to like bananas."
You're such a fool. I should have known that you robbed that bank on Main Street on January 6th, 1986.
It took you long enough to catch me, you rascal. Like 15 years before I was born. I robbed a bank. No, actually, I'm gonna do that in like 2 years from now, and it just turns out that I'm a time traveler. They need the funds to buy Bitcoin. No, I wouldn't have to be dealing with all the horrible tax stuff I'm dealing with now if I had invested in Bitcoin that early, you know? Then I would have just got this tax guy to do everything for me. He'd be like, you do realize it's going to be $17,000. I'm like, yep, do it. That's not even 1 Bitcoin. I don't know how much Bitcoin is worth. I've repeatedly tried to get people to explain to me what Bitcoin is. And every time they drop the same script that I don't get. They're like, well, you see, it's an agreed upon currency that, somebody one day decided that they were going to start paying with things that way, and then more companies bought into it. And I'm like, okay, but how do you mine for it, though? Like, what do you mean it just exists out in the ether and you gotta find it? Like a One Piece treasure map? And they're like, no, it's mathematical equations. And I'm like, what, so you do the right equation that nobody's done before and then you find money in the internet? That's not how the internet works. It's a bunch of ones and zeros. There's no gold hidden in the ones and zeros. I'm so confused. You must be new here? Wait, what did you say in response? I can't even tell. And maybe if you have a small business. Ew! Snack, welcome in! Hello, how are you? Rip, if you have a small business, since the US and Canada have different categories / designations for companies and neither recognize the other's system. Yeah. Yeah, it's a struggle. Canada is nicer to their citizens, though. in that one case. It's like digital currency or something, like hanging out outside the mint or something. It's Queen Bee Minre. Doing good? I'm glad to hear it. Why is everyone's name red? I don't know. I think that just might be a coincidence, because Alanik's name is always red. And Salty Dog's name has been red. Snack is usually green. Oh, there. Toxic Ballbag 99 is purple. So it's just a coinkydink. Manually set my name to red. That makes sense. Pink? Red is just pink mixed with white. And the other text is white, so if you really think about it. If I take a step back and really squint, then everyone's pink. Anyway, that I've never understood. And I don't know if I'll get it. I've had friends try to explain it to me. But I don't understand how you can hop on the computer and dig for math and then explode in cash if you like do the right math. It doesn't make sense. Currency is something that you agree upon. Like, I understand how if we were all like, all right, we're gonna start trading with pineapples tomorrow, that would be weird, but it would be like, okay, sure, pineapples are now money. You know, and then supply and demand comes in, and suddenly you can start buying stuff with pineapples. I don't know, I chose that as a random example. But mining for Bitcoin is made up. It's made up. What value does that have? Why are you generating value? I understand, like, planting and harvesting pineapple could be a way to generate value, but how is digging around on a computer doing that? And I've heard that it's like, oh, since the beginning of time, there were these mathematical equations that exist in the ether, but they're waiting to be solved. And I'm like, what anime are you talking about, bro? What? Who made it? I don't get it. I don't get it. My brain is too small and wrinkly. Pink is red mixed with white, not red being pink mixed with white. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm really tired, okay? I've been very stressed. My name is Red because my favorite color is red. Seems like a skill issue. Yeah, my intelligence. I think it stocks or something. That's genuinely so funny. Ow! My head! Bitcoin was an attempt at a decentralized currency out of the government's control. Keyword, attempt. Yeah. I think that aspect of it, I get. I understand that. It's the mining for it that doesn't make sense to me. Because it's something that doesn't exist. De-stress, take care of yourself. Well, thank you. I'm a little worried about tomorrow. There's a big trip. I'm still not totally sure what they expect from me. I'm still not totally sure if I'm going to be good enough. It's going to be really long. And then I have all of this tax stuff.
Asherat says, hello Aiden, I am here now. I keep thinking
Ash.
today is Saturday for some reason, so I completely forgot you were streaming.
It does
Have I
feel
told
like
you
a
about
Saturday,
this
doesn't
time I was locked in a room?
No,
A
you
rubber
haven't.
room. A rubber room with rats.
That's crazy.
Rats make me crazy.
Rats are so
crazy.
insanitary.
I was crazy once.
I was crazy
They
once
locked
as
me in
well.
a room.
No way.
A rubber
You too?
room with rats.
No,
Rats
me too.
make me crazy.
That's crazy.
Aiden. Rubber rat. I think I'm going crazy.
That sounds like a pop song. Rubber rat. I think I'm going crazy. Thank you for the hydrate, Minre. Drink. It has value because those engaged with the system agree that it has value, like all other forms of currency. Yeah, I get that part too. But I don't understand how there are mathematical equations that have existed since the dawn of time that we're trying to farm, and then when we find the equation, we get a bunch of money. That's made up. Take 3 deep breaths through your nose and out your mouth. I'm not like overwhelmed right now. I'm not overstimulated right now. It's not acute stress right now. It's just a general feeling of dread over the past couple of days. The equations part was a way to make them limited. So is there something I'm not understanding about it then? Because I don't know how... like, if you have real life currency, you can use that to buy Bitcoin. You can exchange it for Bitcoin. Where does the equation come into that? Like, you can find one. So there are mathematical equations out there that if you discover one, you like get a Bitcoin, and they're like, congratulations, you found the secret Easter egg treasure hunt. Here's your extra Bitcoin, like a video game, like you unlocked an achievement in a video game. Who put it there? Who put the Bitcoin there? Who decides what equation it is? Couldn't you just make up a completely BS equation that doesn't make any sense and be like, look, it's the Bitcoin one. Give me Bitcoin now. Who is in charge of the Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin a force of nature? Fire, earth, water, air, and Bitcoin. And the only way to Bitcoin bend is by doing math with your computer. The bit people. That's the part that I don't understand. I'm like, how? Whoa, is that a bit person? Hey, come back here and give me your Bitcoin. Also, I'm so close to finishing reading Darl finally. I'm very excited. That's really exciting. Hey, best of luck. It's not easy to get those, rigged. In fact, it can be quite a challenge. At times. I'm going to leave the flats of that for now. And we will move on. Line art. But yeah, I don't understand it. And no one has explained it in a way that it makes sense to me. It's kind of like, this is not the same, because I sort of get it now. But you know how okay, picture this. You're in a car driving down the highway, right? And the car's going 100 kilometers an hour, which is, I don't know, like 70 miles, I think. And there's a mosquito in the car. And the mosquito's flying around just fine inside of the car. Is that mosquito not flying 100 miles or 70 miles an hour? Because if you were to just remove the car and then take point A to point B of where the mosquito would be traveling, it's moving at the same rate. But then apparently I'm wrong about that because it's the air pressure? I didn't realize that speed or acceleration and air pressure were so closely linked. Like, I would think, you know, when you're driving in a car, why don't the mosquitoes all go flying to the back of the car? And it's because of air pressure. So it can fly around in there all at once. Which means that if you had a big enough truck, you could, like, make a community. Picture this. There's a town inside of a semi. And this semi, I guess it's kind of like Earth, because the Earth spins real fast, right? I'm probably asking the dumbest questions in the world right now. Okay, paper currency is limited because the bank refuses to constantly print more. Right, and if they did, it would raise inflation rates. It's supply and demand. The investors of Bitcoin needed a decentralized, out-of-their-hand way to make Bitcoin limited. Can't you just say, okay, there's 1,000 of them, and that's all? But instead, they decided on a specific equation where each iteration correlates with a Bitcoin. Each iteration requires more computing power to solve than the last, creating a practical cap. Theoretically, it's infinite. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. So the way to make it limited is that each new one you get makes the next one harder to find, to a point where it's virtually impossible to get a new one. And then, you know, if there's 100 million of them or something, then the 101st millionth is out of reach. So that's the cutoff. That's where it ends. Okay, I understand the principle, but I don't understand logistically why they even did that. Like, couldn't you just say, we're making something up called Bitcoin, and there's 1,000 of them. And then just have it there? I don't know. That's more objects in motion staying in motion, like jumping on a train or throwing a ball straight up in a train. Yeah. But that's the thing, is that if you're in a train, and you throw a ball straight up in the air, is it not moving? Uh-oh, I'm already getting so distracted. I'm genuinely just curious about this. Let's say you have your train. Here's your train. Chugga chugga choo choo. I don't know why it looks like that. Stop asking questions. There's your train. And you have a ball and you throw it up in the air and the train is going real fast this way, right? When you throw the ball, is it not also going real fast this way? Or is this just like a completely secluded area and it has no forward velocity whatsoever? It's only going up. I don't know. I'll stop now. I'm starting to sound like a crypto enthusiast. No, that was very helpful. Thank you, Salty Dog. I feel like I understand it better now. I understand what they're doing. I don't understand why they did it. Because the air in the train and all the objects are already going that speed, so they keep the momentum. Okay, so the ball is technically going forward at the same momentum. But the reason that it just goes straight up and straight down without flying all over the place is because the air around it and everything around it is also going that speed. So a mosquito flying around in the car is actually going at 70 miles an hour, if that's how fast the car is going. It's just that the air is pulling it in that direction. Like if you suddenly stop and things are thrown forward, it's because they haven't stopped their momentum. Right. I just remember talking to people and saying, like, let's say you have a car. This is the greatest car you've ever seen. Yeah, it's whatever. Here's your car. And there's a little mosquito in it. And the car's going 70 miles per hour. This way. The mosquito is also going 70 miles an hour this way. And they were like, no, wrong. The mosquito's not moving. And I was like, that's crazy. What do you mean? But I can see why they would say that if it's like, okay, well, yes, the mosquito's going that fast, but so is the air. And so is the seats and the people, and everything else in the car is also moving at that same speed. So it's not that the mosquito is... Graham, welcome in. Sorry, I'm usually drawing things. I'm just a little distracted. So the mosquito isn't capable of flying that fast on its own. It's not the mosquito's flight that makes it move that fast. But it is moving that fast. It's just because it's in the car. And it's moving with the air. That makes so much more sense. No problem. I was slightly interested when, in the early days, Domino's, I think, would accept Bitcoin as currency when paying. Yes, funny enough, when I asked my friends about this, that's like the first thing they said, is they were like, some pizza chain picked it up. And you could buy pizza with Bitcoin. And that sort of legitimized it in a lot of people's eyes. Isn't that crazy? How you can just do that? Like, we all know that money's made up, but it doesn't feel that made up. Nowadays, it feels like you can just say, I'm making, Aiden, I'm gonna make Sketchcoin. And then I could just go to, like, Marriott Bonvoy, what is it called? Marriott Monvoy, what is the hotel? I'm actually drawing a blank. Is it Marriott? Whatever the hotel chain is called, okay? Ugh. And be like, hey, you guys should accept Sketchcoin. And they could literally be like, sure. And then boom, it's real money now. Wild. Also, like, you can walk on a train. It doesn't feel different to the person walking because everything has the same momentum. Yes, exactly. My question was more like, if the train is going 100 kilometers an hour and you're walking forward on that train, are you technically moving... What's the average speed of someone walking? I don't know. If it's like 1 kilometer an hour, then are you technically moving forward at 101 kilometers an hour? And I think technically speaking, if you measure from outside of the train, then yes, you would be. That's what I was wondering. Technically, although it's generally not seen that way, yeah, my brain is just weird. That's the way that it makes sense to me. Because if I'm like, are you technically moving that fast? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well then what? Why has it stopped your movement? What is stopping you from moving? For why they used math to set a limit instead of a hard limit was to A, prevent the loss of a wallet from permanently decreasing the amount in circulation. Okay. And B, allow more to be added as the system expanded, like how banks nowadays have more bills in circulation than there were 100 years ago. Okay. So they don't want it to be a completely finite resource. Like, it's not like there's an actual limited number of them, but it's just more difficult to get the more you have. That kind of makes sense. 'Cause, like, inflation goes up a crap ton. Like, when a country gets poorer or their economy takes a hit, in the history we have seen that they start to print more money, which devalues each individual bill. Each individual dollar goes down in value because of supply and demand. And then it gets to the point where the dollar is basically worthless. And it makes everybody's lives worse. But if you had a way to ensure that that's not going to happen, and that as a matter of fact, when you try to print more money, it actually becomes more difficult, then you're boosting the dollar amount. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. There are better ways to have an adjustable decentralized limit like the other big crypto. I forget what it's called. The one NFTs use the same system for. NFTs are dumb though, aren't they? Isn't the whole thing about that just being like, I own this picture now? And you can have this picture as my picture. And then you just Windows Shift S. Snipping tool that biz. Now it's my picture. You know, this one that you have that's worth $10,000. Silly. So silly. I gotta pick some music. Maybe we go Genshin Impact mode today. I really like the Liwa soundtrack. There we go. Ah. Oh, ads bugged out and only gave me one? It does that sometimes. Very strange. Yes, NFTs are stupid. You don't own the image, you own a link to an image. Yeah, and why is that inherently valuable? Like, I can just save image as, and then boom, I have a new link to the same image. And can't I do that 100 times, and each time I do that devalue your link? I don't actually know how it works, but it just seems silly. I'm gonna put my eyes back to normal now. I don't know. I'm not good with finances in that I'm not doing everything I could be doing. But I'm also not bad with finances in that I'm not, like, throwing it away. I've heard people say you shouldn't just keep your money in a savings account because it's depreciating in value. Because, you know, it's not going up with inflation and, if it's in a regular savings account, it's probably very low interest, which mine is. And they're like, so you're just sitting there watching your money dwindle away in value. And I'm like, technically, I suppose that is true. But I'm also not spending it. Like, it might be depreciating a little bit every year, but if you have... If you... Oh, you gotta go, Asher? I gotta set up for stream now. Bye and have a good stream. Thank you! Good luck on rigging your Darl. I hope that all goes well. It would be, like, depreciating in value, but by a very slim amount, right? Like, by only the amount of inflation. So, if, let's say you have $20,000 in the bank. If you save that money, in a couple years, you might have slightly under $20,000, but it's basically going to be the same. It's, like, a little bit less spending power, but you still have $20,000 in the bank. So it's not the worst thing that you could be doing, is just, you know, I think it will be worse to spend all of it. Oh, well, I got this money sitting in the bank. I might as well spend it all on hockey cards. Because that's where the real value lies. I'm sure I'll open up a Magic the Gathering pack and get my money back, right? Right? But then also I've heard that they're like, you should be doing bonds and you should be opening mutual funds to invest your money and grow your money while you're sitting on it and not spending it. And on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, I've had some money that I haven't touched as like a emergency fund. But I don't want to put that, like, once you give it to a bank or something for them to start trading, you don't have that money anymore. Like, there's a guarantee that you'll get it back at some point, but I don't know, what if your car blows up? I'm sure the general piece of advice is to make sure you have enough money without that being in the bank, but I'm still like, I don't know. Things get expensive these days. I just don't want to be stuck, because that sounds scary. Pay to get your name in a receipt chain or something. For crypto, I could get the original idea, although execution is questionable, but NFTs make no sense. Yeah, I think the philosophy behind some cryptocurrencies does seem to make sense. I don't think I'll ever get into it, just because, like, you can lose money when you're trading, like, Bitcoin and stocks and things, which I don't think I would ever do. That's why people say to do it through your bank and through, like, mutual funds, because it's low-risk investment. So they, like, you get somebody at the bank to put your money into a couple stocks that they know is going to make money, and then you always get your money back. I don't know how they do that, because I would think you can never be 100% certain. Like, what if they're like, oh, this company's really safe, and then I don't know, it blows up. That's my solution to everything, is it has to explode. But do you know what I mean? I'm like, anything could tank at any moment. What if you lose all your money? But apparently, that's not how mutual funds work. They're supposed to be like, you're always going to get your money back. You just have to be patient. And the bank will just, you know, will grow your money and then take a little bit of the extra money at the end. But I haven't, like, sat down and looked into it. I think I would want to talk to somebody first and actually understand what it is. And then I would also want to be like, hey, here's how much money I have. Is it even worth it to put this in a fund at this point? Or would it be better... How much money should I put in? How much money should I be making before I put it into a fund like this? How long is the fund's gonna last? What I'm trying to say is, I want somebody to tell me what to do. I don't want to make these decisions for myself. It's a headache. It's scary. In my opinion, we should use the Warhammer Orc system, where we have constantly regrowing but highly degradable teeth. That's really funny. Orc currency system. It's because they're working with each other. Conspiracy. One final thing on crypto. I find it funny how crypto was made to be decentralized and outside of government control, and everyone immediately tried to centralize it, and government started declaring jurisdiction over it. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. And how does that even work? Like, some guy just came up with crypto, right? Or maybe like a team of people. Surely the government can't just step in and be like, hey, this is mine now. There's got to be like laws that protect that. I have no idea how that works. But it does feel crazy that anybody can come up with their own like cryptocurrency and then the government be like, and that's mine. Like you'd be like, I made that. You can't just take it. Also, I don't know. Everyone immediately tried to centralize it. Oh, so like, does that mean like putting it all in one place, centralizing it? So like trying to get it all together in one bank? Or all of the big companies that accept crypto are trying to hoard it? You gotta tell the tax man if you do stuff with crypto? Yeah, oh my gosh, that's another reason I'm really glad I don't do that. Did you hear about the VTuber? The new VTuber named Droopy Balls? He's a big fan of yours. Oh, I'm very well acquainted with Droopy Balls, thank you. Me and them go way back. Me and them Droopy Balls. All governments have the power to take property and rights when it pleases. Rights are more like suggestions. Yeah. Yikes. Big oof on that one, Chief. I prefer to be a slave to one government. The lesser of many evils. Rather than two. Those like Droopy Balls memes are gold when you're playing Jackbox. A classic of mine is Mike Oxlong or Mike Hawk. Those are classics. But there's a lot. There's a lot of real hitters out there. You just gotta look them up. One of my favorites that's less dirty and more just silly is Barb Dwyer. That one always kills. You hop in a Jackbox game? Who's barbed wire? Wait a minute. Very silly. My sense of humor does not make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to other people. I don't think it makes sense to God. I don't think it's ever going to make sense. I just laugh at things. I think it's fine, though, to be an easy laugh. And I think more people need to be an easy laugh these days. You know? I'm not about the whole lifestyle that's like, oh, you want me to laugh? You better earn it. You better deserve it. Dance for me, jester. Your joke has to be good enough, or you get nothing from me. I'm like, laughing's good for you. It, like, lowers your stress. And if somebody is gonna go out of their way to, like, make a joke, they're being vulnerable. They're putting themselves out there. All you gotta do is give them a little haha, and then they're like, oh, I feel good. And life is better if you can see the comedy in everything. If you take situations and see how they can be funny, life just gets better. And the only negative to it is when people judge you for it. Oh my gosh, you're so annoying. You laugh at everything. Like, hey, actually, if we got rid of that stigma, then there would be nothing wrong with laughing at everything. The only thing wrong with laughing at things is the people who think it's wrong to laugh at things. You ever think about that? crazy. A Jackbox stream would be crazy. It actually would. I would low-key do that. I don't have any of the Jackbox games, unfortunately, but like the audience being a part of it is great. I've said this multiple times before. I'm nervous to do like community games where the community has a lot of power, because in a Jackbox, like if we did Quiplash, people would be able to drop a slur on my stream, and then because I'm the one showing it on stream, I'm the one violating Twitch terms of service, Twitch TOS, and I could get banned for that. And all it takes is one person to sneak one in, you know? But with the audience, the way that the audience works in Jackbox, you guys get to like, they get to vote on stuff, they get to participate in stuff, they get to pick which, you know, if you're playing Quiplash, they get to pick what they like more. So there's still quite a bit of participation, but at no risk of getting banned. We need a laugh-based economy? Truly! Life would be better. Except I'd be filthy freaking rich. I mean, if I joined, you know you're safe from slurs or profanity. Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. But, you know, having it open is worrying. All that to say, the audience is a really nice feature. Thank you, Minre, for letting me know. And if I do play Jackbox, then that's a really fun way to get participation from everyone. And I'm all about that. So, I would do it. And there's also so many really funny Jackbox games. I can't even think of my favorites. The funny thing about Jackbox is I'll play a lot of games, and then I think I know which ones I like and which ones I don't. And then you play them again on a different day or with a different group of people. And then all of a sudden they're like entirely different games. It's kind of interesting how one day you'll play a game, you're like, oh, that one sucked, I never want to play that one again. And then you play it 2 years later, and you're like, wait, this one is so fun. I love this game. What happened? And vice versa. You'll have a game that is super fun the first time you play, and then by the third time, you're like, I'm getting kind of bored of this one, actually. There was a lightning storm last night. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. There was a big blizzard outside for us, so there's snow everywhere. Was trying to sleep, and suddenly the room was lit up, and there was the screams of war from the sky. That sounds like a very aggressive lightning storm. There are lightning storms that are relaxing and fun to listen to / watch, and then it crosses a certain threshold into scary. A scary lightning storm. And I've had my fair share of those. That sounds like a scary lightning storm. Not like a, oh, I'm gonna make a tea and sit by the window with a book and a candle and enjoy the rain sounds. That's nice when it's, you know, off in the distance. Some distant rumbling. And then there are other times where it's like, holy crap, that was right outside my window! The house is gonna catch on fire! Everybody get to the basement! First thunderstorm of the year and Puppy's first storm. It moved on quickly, but it started like right outside the window, it felt like. Yeah, that would be scary. How is your dog doing with the storm, by the way? When we had our dog's name was Clifford. Like Clifford the big red dog, but he wasn't red, believe it or not. He did not do well with storms at all. I've heard, this could be completely fake news, but I've heard that animals can sense the pressure changes in the air, so like they know when a storm is coming. And when he would feel that and know a storm is coming, he would freak out. He would bark very loud for hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, literally the entire night, the full 12 hours from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. if it stormed the whole time. And we could not get him to stop. And I wonder if maybe there was something else we could have done at that point, or if it was just that he needed to be raised in a different way. I do wonder, like, if we had raised that dog differently, if maybe we could have got him accustomed to it when he was little, so that he wasn't afraid of it when he was older. It's the classic, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. If he's afraid of lightning when he's 4, he's going to be afraid of lightning when he's 12. But if you can train that out of him early, maybe he wouldn't have had that, and we wouldn't have had to deal with it. Sort of in the same vein as you can desensitize dogs to, like, knocking at the front door, for example. Let's say you order a lot of packages on Amazon, so there's always a knock at the front door, but your dog always goes crazy and barks because they think that there's somebody at the door. You can, you know, a couple times a day, knock on your own front door. And then when you do that multiple times a day, it's a boy cried wolf situation. The dog eventually goes, okay, well, that door knocks all the time. It's probably not going to be a person this time. He was scared and barking, but once we went out there to let him know it was okay, he calmed down for the rest of the storm. See? That's so smart. Immediately. I don't know if we even ever tried that. We might have done it, like, once. And then people were like, oh, poor baby, let's bring him inside. We don't want to subject him to the storm. But I'm like, no, it's probably for the best if you leave them outside for a bit and they realize that it's not something to be scared of. Also, my camera is moving around a lot. She is wiggling. There, that might be better. I'll leave it there. It was probably very jolting for him too, sudden loud noise. Yeah, that's a big part of it. I assumed that once you're exposed to something for long enough that seems like a threat, but it never hurts you, you would eventually learn that it's not a threat. And that wasn't the case with our dog. I thought that, you know, big, scary, loud noise from the sky would be, like, startling the first time it happened. Or maybe even the first handful of times that it happened. And then eventually, you know, after 10 years of you hear multiple storms every year, and it's never hurt you, and you've never been in trouble, and the people around you aren't panicking, then I would assume you'd be like, alright, this is fine, actually. You know, there's no evidence that says you need to be worried about this because nothing bad has ever come of it. So, like, it's loud, but it never gets worse than that. Then again, I am speaking as though I am a dog, and I don't understand how dogs' brains work. So, never mind. We got another bot, but it got caught by Automod. Thank you, Automod. Banned. Old people with joint issues can also tell when storms are coming in. Air pressure causes joint pain. Isn't that crazy? Do you guys think that you can tell when a storm is coming? Don't you get that, like, there's a feeling in your gut that's like, oh, I think it's gonna storm. And definitely part of it is I'll be walking around outside before said storm, and, you know, you see the color of the clouds, and you just kind of feel that energy in the air that you're like, yeah, I think it's gonna storm. I can smell it. I can smell it too. Oh, yeah. The petrichor. Can you guys hear my cat? You can. He does this sometimes. He's weird. Sometimes he just likes to come down to the basement and freak out for a little bit. He likes to lose his mind for a few minutes. Okay, I think that's all the flat colors done. I'm still gonna go back through and fix things up off stream just because I still get a little bit... When I'm on stream, I can't 100% focus on the art because I'm still thinking about stream things. So it's nice to take a break, hit a little mental reset, then go back to the art piece, look at it again, and then say, okay, now how do I make this look really good? Coloring done, you say? Should I mark prediction? Yeah. Go right ahead. It didn't take the whole stream this time. Sometimes I don't even realize that predictions don't have to take the whole stream. They can be shorter than that. I suppose that could be similar to trauma. If it's dealt with soon, then they don't feel it as deep for as long. Yeah. Yeah. And this is how it is with people. I assume it's similar with animals, is that if you're accustomed to something when you're really young and your brain is just beginning to develop and something is sort of normalized, then it's more normalized for the rest of your life as well. I get scared by strong wind. Sounds spooky despite it never actually hurting me. Yeah, I get that. Like, it can sound spooky. But I don't know. You know that it's not gonna hurt you. Like, it sounds spooky, but you know in your head that it's not gonna do anything. I guess I just assumed that after like 10 years of experiencing thunderstorms, the dogs would have the same thing. Where they're like, maybe they still don't like the sound even after all these years. But the way that my dog was freaking out was like his life was in danger. It felt so much worse than like it was just too loud for him. And we would try to like put him in a kennel and cushion it with pillows and stuff. So we made sure that it was nice and quiet and he would still lose his mind. So I don't think it was purely the noise that was doing it. I think he didn't like the fact that a thunderstorm was happening. I think he didn't like that. We're more confident about me getting raided today. 200! Wow, that's crazy. I also sometimes get joint pain. Huh. I've never had that. But isn't that kind of cool? Like, I'm pretty sure it's just a difference in air pressure, right? But isn't that cool how we can sort of detect with our bodies if it's about to smoke? Smoke? I mean storm. Sorry. I was thinking of a natural phenomena that starts with S, and I went with smoke. For me, the weather also seems to be on a whatever pisses you off basis. Sorry, you guess /J and /JK stand for joke and just kidding, right? Yes, yes, yes. It's all good. Also, that is funny, and that's how it is here as well. Oh, you thought it was April. You thought it was time for spring. You thought that it was gonna like get warmer outside. How about a blizzard and 2 feet of snow, just to cheer you up? Predictions are typically supposed to be used like they win this round or something. Yeah. Like PTSD. Yeah. Finishing coloring done? 10 points. Getting raiders? All the points. People are more confident in a random occurrence than me actually finishing art. I've had a few injuries that result in joint pain sometimes. Oh yeah? I haven't had any of those, luckily enough. Hello, hello, welcome in. Rosane Grax? Rosa? Rosa. Should I call you Rosa? How are you? Welcome in. I think I might start on those sketches now. So I am just gonna grab these, scooch them over a little bit, give us room for some sketches. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I love doing stuff like this, even though it takes up so much more space. I'm gonna copy and paste that, and I'm gonna leave the original just as is. And I can get rid of the references, and I can move these around and manipulate them all I want. And if I happen to wreck something, it's fine, because we have a copy of the original saved. Yes, Rosa is fine. Okay, great. Welcome in. Do you prefer Grax as a nickname? I'm good drawing mostly. That's great. What kind of stuff do you like to draw? These art streams are some of my favorite to do because they're good for body doubling. Where you really want to get some art done, so you find somebody else who's also drawing so that you can do the same. And then I might even rip something like that. There you go. I retaught myself to walk from a back injury. I could still walk fine, I just had to change how I walked to avoid bouncing to stop the pain. Now I walk with no bounce, silently. Isn't that interesting how... I mean, people adapt to things naturally, but, like, something you never thought would change about yourself, you just adapt to and change anyway. I had a similar thing happen with brushing my teeth. So, I've used an electric toothbrush for, like, 10 years now. I love electric toothbrushes. But I used to have an electric toothbrush that was enclosed all the way. Let me illustrate this in the most literal sense. Here's like the head of the toothbrush. And then, you know, you got all the bristles here and whatever, bristles. And then there's this little, like, part here that connects to the base of the toothbrush. This is the base of the toothbrush. There's the bristles. Then there's this, like, neck that connects them. All of my necks when I was younger looked like this. And now, for some reason, I can only buy ones that have this hole in the middle. And if you look in the hole with, like, a flashlight, you can see that there's a spring in there. And I used to brush my teeth in a way where I guess I would press kind of hard against my lips or my cheeks. And then as soon as I switched to this kind of brush head, the spring would catch on my cheek. And it would, like, really hurt. Like, it would rip and pull at the sides of my mouth. And that happened multiple times. And then I sort of taught myself how to brush my teeth without ever getting my tongue or the sides of my mouth in that spring. And it hasn't happened in, like, years. And it's the same brand of, like, toothbrush heads and everything. I actually can't find ones that don't have that anymore. I think it's simply just I adapted and learned how to brush my teeth without the pain. Yeah, it was not great. I'm actually designing a character right now myself, but I like to draw different things, honestly. I just don't draw as often as I used to, so I'm trying to get back into the flow. That's great. Always encourage people to get back into drawing. It's so fun. And I'm glad you're here. Let us design characters together. Let this be the day where we draw swords together. Let this be the day where we draw characters together. Okay, then we're going to do the headshot. Boom. Headshot. We'll do the sketch here. Sketch. But this is the fun part because I don't have to worry about the line art. I get to be all loosey-goosey with it. Or at least I get to try. I get to try my best to be all loosey-goosey with it. So far I've done some emotes for someone I know, but that's all. I was supposed to do a design for them, but I couldn't for now. That's fun. It's a good place to be. If people want you to do that for them. Funny enough, I also started with that. My first ever commission was technically for Twitch emotes. Because I had a friend who lived in the same city. And she was like, hey, I want emotes for stream. I know you're an artist. Can you do them? And I was like, I have never done Twitch emotes before. And she's like, that's fine. Just give it a try. And so I did give it a try. And it went okay, I think. But it's a great place to be when you're allowed to, you know, have some fun with it. Try some stuff out. Funnily enough, they're my first emotes. Yeah, so same boat. It's funny. Okay, Minre. We're doing 1 close-up headshot and then 3 accessories. Or no, we're doing 2 close-up headshots and 1 accessory. Right. Do you have any suggestions for what you want those to be? Like expressions? Do you want a smiling one for the regular personality and then an angry one for the alternate personality? This guy makes good emotes. Oh, thank you, Minre. I appreciate you. So far, it's these. Those are really funny. I love those. I especially really like the rainbow one at the end. The little animated rainbow one is good. You got some classics in there. The This Is Fine with the fire in the background. Mwah, chef's kiss. You always got to have one of those. You always got to throw one of those in there, you know? It's great. Unsure if I want the alternate to be angry or smug. Okay. Well, we'll give him a shot. So we'll do normal. And then we'll also do an alternate version. I will probably... You know what? Let's hide these. Give myself lots of space to work with, and then I can manipulate them and fit them all onto the sheet later. There we go. The first animation I made was for a friend. It was drawn with paper, which was not fun. Oh my goodness. Did you have the like animator paper where it's, you know, it kind of looks like this and then it's got the little holes at the top so that you could like rip off a piece and then have the same one underneath to make sure that they're the same? Or were you using like loose leaf lined printer paper? Dude needs space to manipulate. I'm just like Gojo for real. The animation was a GIF. No, printer paper and a light pad. Whoa! Stapled together. That's cool though. That's fun. You're being ingenuitive. And that's also classic. Like, at least you had a light pad, you know, you weren't guessing. I'm gonna go grab a blanket. It's right here. I don't even have to go anywhere. It's so cold on my legs down here that it feels like needles. Which kind of shows you how much I can't tolerate the cold. Because it's probably like 18 degrees Celsius in here. Which is like, I don't know. It's colder than room temperature for sure. What's room temperature in Fahrenheit? 71? 70? Somewhere around there? It's probably like 65? Is that reasonable? Blanky time. You know it's blanky time. Just to cover my little leggies. Because it's freaking the snow outside, its temperature is leaking in. Or rather, technically, the warmth inside is leaking out. I switched to a tablet a while ago. Don't miss paper one bit. I bet with that animation setup that I wouldn't either. Sometimes I do Sometimes I do miss sketching traditionally, though. There's something about that tactile feel of pencil on paper that can't be beat. But that is also because when I started drawing, I started with pencil and paper, and I did that for a long time. So that could be why. It's because I'm more used to that, or that's where I got all my fundamentals from. And also, like, university, we did mostly pencil and paper as well. I'm gonna be so loose with this sketch, y'all don't even know. You're not even ready for how loose this sketch is gonna be. Whoa. Did you see that? Did you see how loose that sketch is? Cray cray. Immediately, like, erasing and changing things. These are made by our lovely streamer here. Oh, thank you. Oh, shucks. You're making me blush. Room temperature is whatever temperature the room is. Yeah, but I think there's like a standard measurement for what room temperature is. Also, I cannot color with colored pencils to save my life. It's really hard to color with colored pencils. I will give you that. It is not easy. And also, Minre, I know you don't have human ears. I'm just using this as a benchmark, because that's how I draw most of my people. Sometimes I wish I took some art classes in uni, but seeing how it was a high school art class killed my passion for art for a couple years, maybe not. That's really real, Salty Dog. In the very short stint that I would upload on TikTok regularly, I made one about, like, university art professors and how they're like, wow, this is amazing, and they show a Jackson Pollock, which is just paint that's been thrown at a canvas. And then they look at something that's, like, drawn by a crazy talented professional, like, anime illustrator, and they're like, that's garbage, it's not real art. I was already enraged by that when I was in school. Even in high school, I got a little bit of that too. I'm more enraged by it now. The older I get, the more I'm like, that's not okay, you can't say that. The way I got around it was by closeting myself and not showing anybody my art. Like, people knew that I liked to draw, but they didn't know that I would draw, like, anime characters, because it was my favorite thing, and I knew, because I had been burned before, I freaking knew that if I showed it to any of my art teachers, they would be like, this is terrible. And if I, you know, worked up the courage to be like, they're really gonna like it, I can't wait to show them, and they're gonna think it's great, and then for them to be like, that's not art, switch to something else, I would be heartbroken, and it would definitely ruin my love of the game. But I was like, I know that they're gonna say that, so I'm gonna keep it to myself, you know, block myself off, not talk to anybody, and I did that through all of high school and all of university. It was sort of a, what is the opposite of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? I never took the shot, so therefore I couldn't miss it. So it's like, I never showed my art to anybody, so therefore they couldn't say that it was bad. Or that it wasn't art. But I think that you have a responsibility as an art professor to welcome multiple kinds of art. And also in this day and age, like, cartoons and anime is such a big part of the media that writing all of it off as, like, not even an art form is crazy. That's an insane thing to say. And you're a freaking professor. You're getting paid the medium to large bucks for being there. And you're supposed to be, like, the best of the best. You're supposed to be the expert on this. I don't understand how it gets to the point where you are a chill, regular person, and then you get your PhD, and then you go like crazy. It's very upsetting. I loved colored pencils. I could never. I was terrible with them. Not a couple of years, 7 years. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That's really rough. I don't know how well ears will work as a bench. Flesh bench. Not real art is something that should be said about AI art. Yes, exactly. That's where my art professor should draw the line. Because a human didn't make it. There was no passion, there was no creativity, there wasn't any effort or skill. It was just a sentence of, I don't know, make this, I guess. And then the AI stole everybody's art. And then all the AI bros collectively went, yo, this is sick! This is awesome! And then they tried to copyright it. Did y'all see that? Good news. If it's not at least partly made by a human being, then it can't be copyrighted. Which means you can take all the AI slop you see on the websites and do whatever you want with it. What we want to do with it is not touch it with a 10-foot pole, but we have the option. I used to draw things, but my twin would tear them up if I showed them. Oh my gosh, that's terrible, Minre. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe your twin was just jealous? That's really rough. Art is a form of self-expression. Scratching dirt with a stick is also art. Yeah. Right? If you feel compelled in that moment to make a sandcastle, that is a human being channeling their creativity to make something that didn't otherwise exist and can't otherwise exist. You know, anything that you make is 100% yours because no one's going to make it the same way. And that's a beautiful thing. And if sandcastles are art, it's insane to have like a beautifully rendered piece that's just stylized and then to be like, that's not real art. Like, how crazy is that, man? Oh, man, it makes me mad. Thank you, Monkey Painting Case, for setting the precedent that it must be human-made. Twin was a jerk. They're aware of it and are a better person now. Yeah, still, I'm sure that didn't help while you were, like, in your early developing stages, and having your art torn up like that would be really rough. I don't know of this Monkey Painting Case. Did somebody own a monkey that made a painting? And then they were like, alright, I'm gonna sell this on Etsy for $100. Or I'm gonna copyright it and sell this print on t-shirts. Low-key, that would be kind of awesome. Not Monkey Painting Case, it was about a monkey taking selfies. Oh, okay. I think if somebody had a monkey and that monkey made a legit painting, even if it was kind of just like splashes on a canvas, I would like buy a t-shirt with that on it. And then people are like, what's that? I'm like, it's monkey painting. A monkey did this. Isn't that cool? It's a monkey. I love monkeys. I don't want to be around monkeys, but I like the idea of monkeys. They're silly little guys. Does anybody else feel that way, that when you like see something, like you go to the zoo and you see a monkey and you're like, they're kind of gross, don't you think? Or is it just me? I don't know. Like, I know in my head that they like fling feces around and stuff, but also just looking at a monkey, I'm like, I feel like there's something primal that's telling me to stay away. Maybe I'm just so weak that even monkeys are predators to me. Turtle, welcome in. So good to see you. I hope your day in stream is going well. It is very well, thank you. And how are you? Don't elephants paint? I would not be surprised. I love elephants. Elephants are great. My favorite fact about elephants, maybe not all animals in general, maybe just elephants, but my favorite elephant fact is that the parts in a human's brain that light up when we see a cute kitten are the same parts of an elephant's brain that lights up when they see a human being. So when we look at kitties and we're like, "Oh my gosh, so cute. I could just eat you up," right? That's what elephants think when they see us. We're baby kittens to elephants. Isn't that the best thing ever? I want to own a pet elephant just so that every time I go outside to like pet it, it's like, "Oh, here comes my cute little human. Look how cute he is." And I'm like, "Stop it, you. I am cute." My favorite animal fact ever might be that otters hold hands so they don't float away. I'm good. Me and Fia just finished watching Project Hail Mary in theaters, and Fia was bawling. I've heard that it's really good. Can you attest to that? I'm also going to admit, I don't know what Project Hail Mary is about. That's so cool, isn't it? I love elephants. They scare me. They could just step on you and you die instantly. But observed from a healthy distance, they're great. I'm not germophobic, but if I were to go to a zoo and like touch an elephant, I'm immediately like, ew, 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 let me wash my hands. I need to wash my hands. They don't scrub the elephants down with soap and water, do they? Maybe I just have a very strong primal instinct to always be clean. Maybe I really don't like being dirty. Maybe my ancestors... Well, actually, my ancestors are mostly British. So maybe that stems from the Black Plague. Maybe I'm hardwired to avoid disease like the plague, pun intended. It's so good. Man, it's an emotional roller coaster, but it's very good. I might have to check it out. Project Hail Mary. Yeah, I've heard only good things. I'm just not sure what it's about. Hello, how's everyone doing? Very well. Welcome in, Ian. I hope you're doing very well. Basically, the sun is going to die in 30 years, and a scientist is forced to go on an 11-year space trip to find a cure. Oh my goodness. That's why it's called Project Hail Mary, because a Hail Mary is where you're like, you know, well, I hope this works. Wow, that's crazy. And it honestly sounds like it would be right up my alley. I might have to check this movie out. And it's like brand new. Is it still in theaters? Whoa, whoa, what the heck happened? I need to get a new keyboard, I think. Sometimes the keys stick. And I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling it. The drivers and all that, and it doesn't work. Although, it is every key. I'm pretty sure what happened there was that my Control-Z got stuck down. But, like, sometimes I'll be playing, I don't know, Minecraft, and I can't stop walking forward. So it's not the keys themselves, right? Maybe it's that the cord is damaged. Or maybe it's a software issue, and I just have no idea how to fix it. This keyboard is getting kind of old, though. Don't you guys hate that everything costs money? Why can't I go and churn some butter for somebody and then they give me a keyboard, you know? Or if they're like, "Oh, if only I had somebody to help me move hay bales." I'd be like, "I'll move some hay bales for you, just give me a keyboard." It's still in theaters, but not for long. We made a last-minute decision to go see it because the last showing here is Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Money. Yeah. Fun fact, most plagues are caused by animal diseases like cow colds infecting people. It's a very rare occurrence, but in medieval Europe, with cities of thousands with live animal markets, happened to be the perfect environment to make the rare chance eventually happen. And maybe that's why it's hardwired into me. I had to buy a new battery for my Laptop. Hey, yo, what's up? My name is Laptop, and I'm here to say no. A laptop recently. Yeah, that's never fun, especially with laptops. Oh my goodness, they break so easily, and then if you want to get a new one, it's like, well, you could try to fix it, or you could just buy a new one, because it's probably going to be cheaper. And by cheaper, I mean it's going to cost $1,000 anyway, but fixing laptops, I feel like, has a 1% success rate. And also, they make it so that as soon as you open the laptop up, the warranty is void. They give you money, you use money for keyboard. Yeah, that is how that works, but I just, you know, not a big fan of late-stage capitalism, to be honest. Wish I could sleep and get paid for it. I mean, sleep studies? You're right, you're right. Except sleep studies sound terrible. They, like, hook you up to an EEG machine. And then you get to sleep for an hour, and then they wake you up, and they're like, what were you dreaming about? What were you dreaming about? Give me every detail. And you're like, where am I? And then they wait for you to fall asleep, and then immediately wake you up again. That would be torture. I'd be like, shut up! Let me sleep! I think I get cranky if I don't have enough sleep. Sleep stream? I could have done that during my 24-hour stream, to be honest. I know lots of people do. Or they'll take like a couple of hours to just have a nap halfway through. But I did not. I relied on the Monster energy drinks that I didn't drink. That's how I stayed up for 24 hours. Pure force of will and the belief that if things got real bad, I had a Monster energy to fall back on. Sometimes that's all you need. I wonder what I would give for information. I have all my senses in my dreams and can remember them almost fully for most of the morning and can remember a direction for a long time after. Honestly, you might be a good person to study. There are sleep scientists and even ones who specialize in dreams, like specific subsect of psychologists who are trying to figure out what dreams are. And did you guys see that Vsauce video where they're trying to like make pictures of people's dreams? Anyway, the more data they have, the better. Ian, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. Good to have ya. But they have like hypotheses of what's going on in different parts of the brain during dreams, but they need to back it up. So if you were consistent with your dreams all the time, then maybe they could study your brain and then be like, ah, when Minre has a dream about school, this part of the brain always lights up, so we know that this part of Minre's brain is responsible for school memories or something like that. I'm sure it's not that cut and dry, but that's sort of how it works. I think a big issue with the, you know, replicability of those studies is that people's dreams are so different all the time. But if yours are, you know, if you're always lucid during them, that might actually be a very useful thing to study. Not going to lie. I'm so bad at sketching, guys. I'm supposed to be going fast. I wouldn't risk it, but I've had this one for 4 years. The warranty is done, and I'm trying to milk its life for at least another year or two. I've taken good care of it. It just overheats really badly. Yeah, that is unfortunately just the life of a laptop. I had one that I kept around for years and years. I used it for university, and I'm still using it, and the battery's totally cooked. Like, it dies immediately when it's unplugged, and it's very slow, but when it's plugged in, and if you're trying to, like, watch a movie or something and you preload the movie, then it gets the job done. I drank a triple shot Loca Mocha Monster mixed with a Fairlight Power Core 42 grams of protein today. Tasted good. Oh, Fairlife Power Core. Are you alright? I hope you survive. I hope you survived that. That sounds like a lot of caffeine and a lot of protein. Ah! Oh, my beautiful face. It's been explosions. Hi, DadSec. Welcome in. I got insomnia, so probably not the most useful. Fair. Fair. Is the vanilla power core. I don't dream about school, usually fighting or running or being a spy. Your dreams sound awesome, Minre. I wish I could be a part of them. I have a friend that drinks stuff almost as chaotic as this, but the Fairlight sounds good. Lucid as in I know I'm dreaming. I can't control them yet. I've only ever had like 1 or 2 lucid dreams, and they're so cool. Hi, Art Dad. Hello, my child. How are you? I'm not always lucid, though it's always very realistic, and I have all my senses. Though I have someone else's memories while dreaming. When I am lucid, I can sometimes control them, but it's more like suggestions that dream can choose to listen or ignore. Dang. The sidewalk slammer. That's so funny. Winton. Okay, I'm sketching it real good this time. I'm breaking it down sketch Ewell style. Don't ask what that means. No one knows. I think I want to move these down slightly. Sure that's all nice and lined up. Decent. What is Art Dad up to? We are still working on Minri's character sheet, but we finished the flat colors, and now we're moving on to sketches of the headshots. So that should be fun. A lot of my dreams inspired my webcomics. That's so cool. I don't know if it's my dreams or just the state of my brain when I'm near sleep, but I always have my best ideas when I'm drifting off to sleep or when I'm waking up in the morning. I think maybe what it is that the only time I really allow myself to fantasize about anything is when I'm in bed. You know, that's the perfect time for maladaptive daydreaming, even though that's probably not actually what it is. I think those are two different things. But it's the perfect time to be like, wow, what if I was married? Or what if I was a wizard? Or what if I was a cat person? And then you kind of just like imagine a story in your head. And then you're like, wait a minute, that's good. Wait a minute, what the frick? Write that down, write that down. There was one night. I do have a Google Doc of like, I think it's like 70 pages now, just of all the story ideas that I've had. There was one night I remember like going to bed and then the neurons were just firing all in the right way. And I was like, this is a freaking movie that's just happening in my head. It's happening to me. So I wrote everything down. And it was like, it was kind of crazy. I like knew how it was going to go from beginning to the end. I could imagine every shot in my head. And it's funny because I don't really have a great imagination either. It's the kind of thing where like if you told me to think of an apple, I I can see a picture of an apple on a table, and it's there, and I can imagine it, and then the longer I try to imagine it, the harder it gets to imagine. To the point where, like, you can be like, what does your sister's face look like? And I'll be like, boom, I got it. And then it disappears. Like, and then now I'm like, I can't picture it. I don't know what it looks like. I could probably describe it, but I don't see it in my mind's eye. Break it down, starts crying. Me every night. Breakdown time. I'm gonna drink 5-hour energies and enter the forbidden hour. Now the question is, does that give you energy for 25 hours? Or does it give you 25 times the energy for 5 hours? Are you going to be crazy for 5 hours? Or are you going to be slightly less crazy for 25 hours? And finally learn the forbidden audit. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. What is going on? I'm just tired and stressed. And finally learn the forbidden knowledge. How to pronounce Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. I'm English, it's native to me. When distractions are forced off, the mind wanders. True. When you allow the mind to wander, it do wander. It do be wandering. Sadly, I'm the only red coat in chat. No one else knows the wonders of Tesco. I'll have these moments where I have the best visualization of an idea for my webcomic, but most of the time I'm at work, and when I get finally on break, it's blipped out of my mind. That's so rough. Oh my gosh, because I know what you mean, but luckily my work is just like sitting at my desk, so if I have an idea, I can write it down, or at least do a quick sketch. I have many just like very quick sketches in my phone, which I think is funny. Of just kind of a general idea that pops into my brain. Sadly, no one here knows the true wonders of Greg's or a Spoon's. Oh, have you ever been to Bar Burrito? They're in Canada, too. I don't think I have, but I think I've seen one. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one in the town, in the city near me, because that name feels really familiar. But I'm sure I've never gone in one. Or eaten anything from there. It's really greasy, and the spiciest option is mild. So it sounds like an average food chain in Canada. How has doing commissions been going? I remember WeChat had to almost bully you into it. Well, thank you for asking. It's been alright. I think the biggest hurdle for me is, like, it takes a lot of getting used to, because some people are very specific about what they want, to the point where it's like, I have on my VGen that after the sketching stage is done, it's $5 for every critique, because I don't want to, like, you know, do flats, do shading, do highlights, fix it up, and then have them go, actually, I don't like to pose, do it all over again. And some people are like that a lot, to the point where I'm like, I might have to start charging because of so many changes that have been made. And then there's the complete opposite, where some people are like, I want this character, and then I'm like, okay, what do you want them to be wearing? What pose do you want? what do you want a background? Like, I just get like no information, and then everything in between. I would say, on the whole, it's been a positive experience. Oh snap! Oh snap! Wait, oh yes, made a minute, Mr. Postman. Shady, welcome in. Small girl, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How was your stream, Small? Minre, you want to throw a shout out in there? I won the bet. Wow, did you bet all 1,000 channel points? That's nutso. No, it's been good. I think the biggest issue for me is that sometimes I'm very happy with a commission, and I'm like, this looks really good. I'm proud of what I did. And then other times I finish a commission and I'm like, I don't like this one as much. I'm not as proud of it. And that makes me feel like I'm ripping people off. Because I'm like, well, one person gets something that, I mean, what I think of the piece and what the commissioner thinks of the piece are probably two very different things. And people might be thrilled either way. But I'm like, how... It seems unfair that two people can pay for the same thing and get one that the artist is proud of and one that the artist is less proud of. But it's not like something I can change. Sometimes it's art, you know? It's not always 100% consistent, so it's something you gotta get used to, I think. It was good. I won't be streaming for a while. Are you taking a mental health break? That's absolutely fine if you need to. Hi, I also forgot to say Rifler Raid. Rifler Raid! Welcome in! Were you drawing or playing some games? But yeah, I think another aspect is that people are actually getting art that they want, which is a net positive in the world, I think. So I should be glad. I'm just very anxious. We know this about me. But yeah, it's been good. And honestly, I got way more support than I thought I would. Huh! Is that another one of those crypto bros? I've been getting way more support than I thought I would, and it's all because of you guys, so I am endlessly grateful for all of you every day. I was expecting to get like maybe 1 or 2 commissions, and now it feels like every time I finish one, there's a new one ready and waiting. And I'm flattered and honored every time that people think that my art is good enough that they would like it of their own stuff. So I'm honestly very honored. But if I say that stuff too much, I'm gonna psych myself out and get even more anxious about it. So I'm just trying to be chill. Maybe I should do the eyes a little bit more slanted. I feel like that's more fitting for this character. I'm in a really bad rut in life right now, and I kind of was crying in most of my stream. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Small. I hope you feel better soon. I don't know if it makes you feel any better, but life has also been very stressful for me lately. I got a whole lot of scary tax stuff that I need to do that involves many, many, many step processes. But life keeps moving on, you know? And through the good times and the bad. Every $5 per critique is a good idea. I just always lock in the commission after the sketching phase, and they can't complain afterwards. Yeah, that's probably smart. It's just like, I feel bad because I do a sketch And people are like, yeah, that looks good. And I'm like, okay, so am I good to finish it? And then they're like, yes. And then I finish it, and they're like, oh, actually, can we do this? And I'm always like, yeah, sure. But technically, I should be like, well, actually, where's my little shine? Actually, if you had read my terms and conditions, you would see that every time past the sketching phase, I have to do an additional addendum. It's an extra $5 or something. I don't know, man. I'm just like... It might be that I'm a people pleaser, but at the same time... Cobalt Tiger! Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. But at the same time, I'm like, they're already paying me. A huge part of commissions is, you know, I want them to get the art that they want. And it feels like I'm blaming them for not knowing what they want at the beginning. Where it's like, I totally get that. Like, I can understand where they're coming from. And if I were in their position, I wouldn't want to be charged $5 every time I, like, didn't like how it looked or wanted to change my mind or something. I don't know. I do say that if I miss anything or if you're unhappy with it, I'll change it. So I really should stick to my guns more. Guys, I'm not a salesman. I'm not good at being like, oh, really? You want me to cross the legs instead of having them next to each other? $5? Aiden, anxious when pigs fly. Yeah, when hell freezes over. When hell flies and pigs freeze. It's really good. A lot better than me, that's for sure. Well, my drawings? Don't say such a thing. Don't compare apples and tomatoes, oranges, whatever. Takes Aiden's glasses and puts them on myself. Wow, you blind as fuck. Yeah, I am. I got -5 prescriptions in both eyes. It's not that bad, but I am legally not allowed to drive without glasses or contact lenses in. I have a Class A restriction on my license because I can't see anything without my glasses. I have known people who are convinced that glasses aren't real. No, I'm not kidding. They'd be like, well... They'd be like, you're kind of cringe. And I'm like, how am I cringe? And like, well, you wear glasses. And I'm like, I don't have a choice in the matter. Well, I want to see. And they're like, you don't actually need glasses to see. Like, I doubt those are prescription. You just want to look cool. And I'm like, what the What? No! Why am I getting flamed for this? I haven't been able to see shit since I was like 8 years old. Why am I being under fire? I don't know. I've had so much going on, and now it's the busiest time of the year at work. I've been extremely overwhelmed lately through everything, and I'm burnt out on everything, including emotionally. Yeah, I think it's a good idea if you want to take a break from streaming, then, Small. Make sure to take time for yourself, and, take care of number one, alright? Don't let other people get you down. And, you know, if work is crazy busy... Make sure you give yourself time to recover from it. And don't try to force yourself to stream. Sending hugs, Small. We're all thinking about you. My tablet is dying, so drawing break it is. I don't know how I feel in the design. You're cringe? Sir, I cannot see. That's literally what it was. And I thought they were memeing at first, but then I genuinely could not get it through their head. That I was like, I need these glasses to see. And they're like, no, you don't. You're lying. I'm like, this is such a strange hill for you to die on. Like, why do you care that I can't see? And why are you convinced that I'm lying about not being able to see? Like, did a fake glasses wearing poser hurt you in some way? Oh, Aiden, we both know the pains of the Canadian driving license system. Yeah. Although I'm from Saskatchewan, so it's easier here than it is in some places. You just take your driver's test once, and if you pass, they give you a license, and that license is good forever. But, in Alberta, I think you have to take 3 exams. I think you take, like, a test. And then, if you pass that test, you have to drive for, like, a year. Or 6 months or something. And then you can pay money to take another test. Which is crazy. And then you can pass, if you pass that one, or I think one of them is like your student license test. One of them is to get your full license, but it's not actually your full license. You have to take one more. And then once you have to pay for the last one, and then when you've taken all three, you have the benefits of somebody in like Saskatchewan having their license. Which is insane. And so most people don't even do it. Quick, everyone gaslight Aiden into thinking he doesn't need glasses. Okay, yeah, guys, you're right. I've taken off my glasses, okay? Now, don't mind me as I get back to drawing this picture. Am I drawing the eye in the right place? Am I drawing the eye in the right place, guys? Does this look good? Am I doing it? Ow! You guys have to tell me if I'm doing it right, because I can't see, okay? And the eyebrow goes there. And then I think what else do I need to do? Oh, I need to do the other eye as well. Other eye is there. And then the eyeball goes there. Yep. Looks good. Oh, wait, I can't read what you guys are saying in chat because I don't have my glasses on. You guys saying that it looks bad? Or that it looks amazing? I actually have my glasses off now, and it's so bad that I can't pretend to misread your guys' messages. It is just blurry. It's looking perfect, buddy. Hey, thank you. Thank you for the hugs. Oh, another crypto bro. I need to put my glasses back on. There we go. Thank you for the hugs. I genuinely just want to feel like myself again and less depressed. Of course, I'm very sorry to hear that, Small. I hope you feel better soon. I hope that maybe, you know, with the changing of the seasons, summertime, you can get out there, take a break. Maybe take a week off, just enjoy life. Oh, that's bullshit. In Ontario, it's test for G1, test for G2, then hold it for a whole year, then take a test for the proper G. That might be similar to how it is in Alberta. No, in Saskatchewan, they literally don't care. They're like, you're 16 and you passed the written test? Go. And if you do it, they're like, congratulations, here's your license for forever. Just tell me about the rabbits, Aiden. Not the of mice and men reference. Just look at the rabbits, Lenny. That's so funny. I'm getting put down. Aiden, I meant to ask, do you have a reference sheet for your model? I do! I can send that in the Discord. If that is preferable. Where would I put that? Maybe just fan art? I want to update it, though. And I still want to work on my new... Oh, gosh, I have so much stuff I want to do. I want to work on my new... like model ideas, and I want to work on my new maiden model ideas as well. I'm gonna send it in fan art, I guess. I mean, even looking back at these drawings, I'm like, I see so many issues, but that's basically the idea of this current VTuber model that I have right now. So go crazy with it. Have fun. I want to go to the beach and go on adventures. I'm genuinely tired of being at work all the time, and I just want to take a break from being at home. I really understand that. Me and my buddies finally booked our summer camp excursion, which we started doing last year. We were gonna maybe, you know, try somewhere else, try something new. And then we got scared because all the campsites were getting booked too quickly, so we booked the exact same one that we had last time. To be fair, though, I really liked our campsite that we had last time. It was nice and big, and it was private. There were plenty of trees. And it was funny because my friends were like, we should do something new. We should have, like, an adventure. And I was like, are you kidding? No. That was last year. Now we already know what to do. Now we get to just enjoy life and do what we already did last year. We know what to do already. We don't have to sit with the uncertainty of it all. Old Aiden, I mean Old Yeller. How long have you been drawing for? 2 hours? To be fair, this isn't all I've done. I haven't just been working on this one sketch. We also did these. Not all in one stream, but I finished the flat colors on them this stream. So we finished the front, side, and the back views. Now we're just working on the sketches. I should be faster, though, because this is just the sketch. This isn't even going to be... I still got to do line art after this. So I really should pick up the pace. I'm just having so much fun chatting with you guys. And the unfortunate thing is I can't do just chatting streams because there's eventually a lull in every stream where nobody's chatting because we're all just vibing. Which is great, but in a just chatting stream, it means I'm going to sit there for 20 minutes and have nothing to respond to. And then I'm just going to be like, women, am I right? And then everybody unsubscribes and unfollows. If you could be granted one wish, what would it be? Mine is removing strong nuclear force. Not a bad idea. Not a bad wish. I think if I actually had one, it would probably be something like, you know, the same things you hear all the time. That's like end world hunger, world peace, something like that. But if we're getting cute with it, I would want a hot wife. I would ask for a hot wife. Because a career is whatever. If I only had one wish, and it was between wife and money, I would be like, hey, Genie, give me a hot wife who is kind and loving and patient and will be with me until we die. And then, you know... If my career is garbage and I never make money, then whatever. Because I have a wife. Imagine going to a family gathering and they're like, wow, your job sucks. You don't have a job. You're making no money. And you're like, oh yeah, but check this out. Boom. You whip out the ring. You show the pictures. You're like, look at this shouty. With the hourglass figure. I bet you're jealous now, huh? Money can't buy that. I don't know what I'm saying. Throws away maple syrup bottle. What are you gonna do now, Canadian? Because it's like Aiden? That's the first time I've ever heard that in my life, and I can't believe I've never seen that before. I'll just make more. Canadians, we can just make syrup. It's just something you unlock when you get your citizenship. You can create syrup. It's a special ability. Freedom to be myself, to stop people pleasing, and to quit my job. Yeah, that's real. Remove carbon. Remove corruption. These are all good choices. Abigail isn't real, Aiden. Need I remind you, Leah is my number one. We're just going for Abigail in this playthrough. But also, I wouldn't be upset if Abigail was my wife in real life either. So you may have a point. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I feel like when I stream, I genuinely just lose all of my artistic capabilities. I wonder if I'm only good at art when I like hum along to music. Maybe that's where all my ability comes from. Maybe because every time I practice my art, I'm like humming along to music, that when I don't do it, my brain is like, what's going on? This isn't how we draw. We always draw while we're humming along. Why are you talking out loud? This is strange. This isn't how we draw pictures. You fool. I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. She won't love you? You don't think Abigail would love me? Let's be real here. If I, Aiden, had any chance with any character in Stardew Valley, it would be Abigail. Because I'm a gamer. And I like swords. I could never do a just chatting stream because my stutter gets really bad when I'm nervous. That is also, that's real. I don't like those eyes. I'm gonna change them. I might try to find a reference here of how I drew Minre's eyes before, and then do it that way, because I really want to make some kind of progress here, instead of just trial and error and fail for the whole time. I want to have a BF, but at this rate, I just don't want to bother. Yeah. No, I get that. I talk about it all the time, but it is difficult to, like, I don't know, it's hard to find a place where you can meet people. And at this point, I got enough going on that to actually try would be, like, so much energy. And I also kind of feel like maybe I'm not in the spot to have a relationship right now. Like, I don't really have a career settled. I'm still trying to figure myself out, ultimately. I don't know if I want to bring another person into this kind of situation. You know what I mean? Because I just imagine what it would be like to meet her parents. And having them be like, oh, so what do you do? And my friends would be like, oh yeah, I'm an IT tech, or I'm networking, or I'm an engineer. I'd be like, well, I try to make YouTube videos. Then they'd be like, okay, get away from my daughter. You guys are so funny. Oh, sad that ads are happening. Who here thinks I should force feed Aiden my next 6 months of E? I would be a hot lady though, wouldn't I? I think I told this story once a while ago on stream. But I was having a sleepover with some friends when I was in, like, probably 8th, 9th grade or something. And we were, we were talking as middle schoolers do. And it was the classic, who do you like? What's your type? Like, my favorite kinds of conversations to have. Probably to this day, if I'm being real. I don't know, I just love talking about it. It's so fun. Maybe I didn't get enough of it throughout middle school, and that's why. I need more sleepover conversations in my life. Or maybe it's just because the best conversations happen late at night. But regardless, one of the questions that was asked was, out of all of the guys, who would be hottest if they were a girl? And we were doing a thing where it would be like 3, 2, 1, everybody say your answer at the same time. Everyone said me. I don't know if those guys were all closeted and everybody had a crush on me or something, but I don't think they did, because some of those guys are married now to women, and I've never heard them talk about being bi. And some of them are kind of, very conservative. So I don't think that would be the case. But every single one of them all at once said me, and I was like, guys, do I look feminine to you? Do you think I look feminine? Why? It was such a weird thing. It was a huge compliment, by the way. I was like, thank you. I wear it as a badge of honor that I would be a hot girl. But at the same time, I'm like, what does that actually say about me as a human being? Am I girl-coded? Or am I just like, I'm not very tall? Is that it? Or is it because, like, I like to put gel in my hair? I like to style my hair? Or maybe they genuinely are just like, no, out of everybody, if you were a girl, you'd be cute. You'd definitely be hot. It is definitely red-pilled. Let's go. I'm also at that stage as well. Like, I know who I am, But I feel like I'm always going back to another identity crisis. I'm tired of losing myself, finding myself, losing myself, finding myself. Yeah, I get that. It's it's really a difficult place to be. And you always hear the advice that's like, oh, if the right person comes along, then, you know, you don't have to have your life all figured out. You don't have to have a career yet. And that's true. But I feel like it's kind of different when you're like an entrepreneur. Like, imagine if I was this is a crazy pull, but I was listening to a podcast with Baby No Money on it, and he's wildly successful, right? Has enough money to retire right now, and he can live comfortably for the rest of his life and give a bunch of inheritance money to his kids, right? Like, loaded. And even he was like, my life doesn't really work well with the relationship right now, because he said that he's on tour all the time, and he's really busy. His work just demands so much of his time. He's like, I feel like if I had a significant other, I wouldn't have the time to devote to them that I want to devote to a significant other. And I'm like, I kind of feel the same way too. Like, I don't really have the money to buy her dinner, which I would want to do. And I'm always working on YouTube videos, so I don't have the time to like go on fun dates, which I would want to do. I can't like just thinking about fun dates like rock climbing, picnic, axe throw, dinner, movie. These are all things that cost money. And I don't have the means to do that on a regular basis. So I'm like, maybe it's best for me to just focus on other parts of life right now. Because I want to treat if I had a girlfriend, I would want to treat her to a dinner and activities and get her like gifts and stuff. And I'm just not in a place right now where I can do that, and I don't, you know, I would feel bad making somebody wait. And also kind of a hard sell with what I do for a living. So I could spend a whole lot of time and energy dedicated to trying to find the right person, or I could just live my life and hope that they turn up. I feel like if you know how to communicate and aren't a dingus, then you're perfectly fine to pursue a romantic relationship. It is hard to find spaces to pursue someone, though, because of how much free time is taken from us. Yeah. That is really true. And I agree. I think, like, you know, if you have a good personality and you're a kind person and, like you say, know how to communicate and you aren't a dingus, then yeah. I also think it's going to be hard to find someone who would like me. And I'm not saying that to be a pick-me and be like, oh, everybody compliment me and tell me that I'm the best. I'm like, to be really vulnerable here, I'm a Christian, right? I don't know anybody who is like a Christian streamer VTuber who like draws anime girls for a living. It's kind of like opposites. And my last girlfriend, when the relationship ended, she was like, oh, I'm only breaking up with you because, you know, I am not ready for a relationship, but you should keep doing your YouTube videos because those are fun. And I was like, oh man, now I feel bad because I was like, I haven't, like, most of the time when we would go on dates, I would invite her over to my house or I would drive over to her house. And if we were going out, I would like bring my discs and we would go disc golfing because it's free. So I wouldn't have to spend money on it. Or she would come over and I would like make some snacks and we'd watch New Girl while we were cuddling on the couch or something. Because it doesn't cost money, right? And at least at that time, I was in university. So I had the delusion that when I graduated, I would maybe have a real like regular job. But now I'm not in school, so I don't even have that excuse. So it just feels like I'm like, I don't know who would like, I feel like I'm in between two worlds and I pick one or the other, and I don't know if there's anybody who would like both of those parts of me. You know just the person? Hook me up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. That's honestly very comforting to hear, though. That's not really something I share with people very often. So, there you go. You're welcome. That's the most vulnerable I think I've ever been on stream. I know I joke about things a lot, but that's genuinely a real insecurity that I have. That, I don't know if I'll find someone who is amenable to my lifestyle and my beliefs. I can't find myself, I'm just gone. JK. And yes, the whole, like, the fact that people don't have a secondary location or a tertiary location other than work and home to, like, go and hang out is a problem. Except, like, the bar. Axe throwing doesn't cost money. Got an axe in tour shed, got a tree outside. Boom, free date. That's true. I have an axe for, like, cutting wood, but I don't have an axe for throwing. I could probably, you know, I think if I sat down, I could brainstorm a bunch of fun date ideas. You just need to have the right person as well. Like, this girl that I was seeing, I think she wanted to just chill and sit on the couch and watch TV. But, like, I can also picture a different girl wanting to, you know, do a scavenger hunt. Or go swimming in the river. Or, blow bubbles or I don't know. There's just like a lot of, or play with Play-Doh or Legos or something. Like there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do that doesn't require going out and spending money, but it just, you have to have the right person who wants to do that kind of thing. I'm gonna be so honest, that sounds amazing. Well, there you go, Small. We're in the same boat, I guess. She's married, but she's super cool and checks all those boxes if you want to check her out sometime. That's the other thing. That's the other thing, is that people my age are all married. And I'm like, well, heck, did I miss my window? I don't actually believe that, though, because I don't know. I've been in a couple relationships, and I don't think I'm ready to get married. I'm 24. I have friends who are anywhere from 23 to, like, 19 years old and got married. And I'm like, even if I was in a relationship for a while, if I was only 20, I would just not get married. I just don't think that I personally would be ready. I'm not throwing shade at other people who do it, because everybody's different. Maybe you're, like, very excited about tying the knot. Maybe you know this person's the one. But I am a very, I don't know if skeptical is the right word. But, like, I don't want to jump. I'm an overthinker, I guess. And I approach every relationship, like, full well in the back of my head being like, this could crash and burn at any moment. So I don't want to, like, you know, I just want to make sure I take my time. I guess that's all it is. I want to make sure that I take my time. So I don't feel behind, because I'm like, I wouldn't have wanted to get married, even if I had the option to get married when I was 21, I wouldn't want to. Like, even if I was in a long-term relationship, I would still probably wait until I was older than I am now. I think parallel universe Aidens wouldn't be married at this age, regardless of relationship status. Online can be the third meetup space. My brother and his wife met online on Overwatch. That's awesome. You have to be so careful, though, Salty Dog, because there are some poor girls playing FPSs who just want to play their Call of Duty and be left alone. That's such dangerous advice. Don't give me any ideas, because I'll go in COD Zombies and hear a female voice and be like, we should get married. Not actually. I know what you mean, though. You build up the friendships first. You get to know them. Did I miss my window? Felt. I'm 29 and still unmarried. That's totally what I mean, though. People are getting married later and later in life. I think 30 is the average age to get married now. It's just that, like I said, a lot of my friends are Christian, and Christians get married very early. There's also I think it's like Christians are 19% more likely to be married just throughout life, but they also get married way earlier. My parents didn't meet and have kids till they were 29. Yeah, I think my mom was in her mid-30s when I was born. Kira, welcome! I'm here. I'm sorry, I finished working and made myself some noodles. That's awesome. Ow! Not the wrench! Oh, that one went in my ear. Welcome! And also, you're so good. It's totally fine. I don't want to get married till I'm like 27 to 30. Yeah, I feel like that's a good age for it. And also, like, I know plenty of people who got married in their mid-30s. You're 24? A baby! The amount of times I hear that is so funny. I'd have to date the person for like 3 years and be engaged for 2 or more, then get married by the 6th year. That's interesting. I guess I didn't think about how long I would want to be engaged. I would probably, before proposing to somebody, also, I think 3 years is a good mark. The trouble is, my longest relationship wasn't even a year. So I don't know what it would be like to have a partner for multiple years consecutively. So I would have to do that first to make that decision. But I feel like 3 years sounds good. Honestly, though, once I'm engaged, I think you just, like, it doesn't really matter. For me personally, I think I would be like, all right, let's give ourselves some time to just enjoy the fact that we're engaged and also plan our wedding. We can plan our wedding nice and slow. Don't want to panic. Don't want to freak out. Don't want to do it in a rush. But then, in my mind, being engaged and being married without kids or without having plans to have kids yet is the same thing. I'm like, you're sure if you're engaged, you're not married yet, but you have the intention of getting married. And when you're married, it's done. The next step for both of those, for a lot of people, is having kids. So whether you're engaged or you're married but not having kids yet, I don't know. Similar. Except for the whole waiting until marriage thing, but that's not something most people have to deal with. I just, you know... I'm doing that. Well, I'm turning 30 this year, single, so cat lady it is. Well, you know, like I said, sometimes people get married in their mid-30s. You don't know. I'm Christian. I'm not planning on getting married anytime soon. Yeah, well, me too. Because I'm single, so I don't know how that would work out. I build up friendships first, but I also stay inside my big-ass castle while throwing gifts at them to show appreciation. But I think the thing is, once you've met someone, it's kind of fine if you don't, like, get out a lot. It's just that getting out is necessary to meet new people. Which is the hard thing for me. I very much want to be friends with somebody before I start to pursue them romantically. Ah! Another crypto bro! A fourth crypto bro has hit the stream. And killed me this time. I forgot what I was saying. That's how easily the train of my thoughts can get off the rails. Ah! Okay. Hi. Yep. A little bit. Stinky! Gross. Oh, yes, I was gonna say, when I have had relationships in the past, I do stay at home a lot. But I make time for them. But it's funny because when you're in a relationship, you actually don't have to go out as much as when you're looking for a relationship. Because, you know, you're trying to meet new people. And sometimes I still feel like I fumbled the bag a bit with that one girl from the Bible study. If you know, you know. Because I didn't ask her out. But also, I had only seen her like 3 times. So we weren't really friends at that point, so I wasn't comfortable with asking her out anyway. And I don't want to second guess myself. I like my rule that I want to be friends with someone before I date them. I like that rule. And I was sort of casually tossing around the idea of asking her out to coffee as something casual to be friends, but I think she would have taken it in that the coffee would immediately be a date. And I would have liked to do it as a friend. But then if you say, "Oh, I want to go out for a coffee as friends," then it makes it sound like that you're never going to be romantically interested, which wasn't the case. It's 10:20 p.m. and I've given up with work. They sent me something yesterday night and said we need it by the 21st and I'm busy on Monday. I'm coming to Calgary on Monday night. How they expect me to finish this with 1 day notice? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Tsundere, welcome in. Hello, what are you making today? I am working on a commission for one of our lovely chatters, Minre. I'm just working on a sketch of the head right now, which I actually don't like. But we've done the flats of the body turnaround right now. That's what it looks like. Bro, I'm 25 and in every D&D group, almost everyone is 10 plus years older than me. I'm always the kid. You're 25, so we're basically the same age and you're still like, oh, baby. That's funny. Oh, you're going to bed, Small? Alright, good night. I hope you have a very restful sleep. Feel better soon. Hang on. We got another bot in chat here. I gotta ban them. Automod got him, though. Automod's catching them like a fish. Like a net in fish. No, not you. Not you, Sundari. I like that name, by the way. One of my friends in high school broke up with their GF. I was about to say GF. But it was amicable and they stayed friends afterwards. My mom called it BS and thinks that all relationships can only end bitterly. I don't think that's true. I think you can still be friends with somebody after the relationship. If anything, it's like you got into the relationship because you were compatible, right? So you'd probably still agree on lots of things. It's just that there was a lot of emotions tied to it that got hurt when the relationship had to end.
Alanix says if you came to work and saw your co-worker wasted like a MF but the supervisor doesn't notice, are you going to carry the workload for them or are you going to tell them they're cooked?
I might do both. I might say, why are you drunk at work? Actually, step 1, I would not notice. I am so blind to those things because I'm a little quirky. I'm a little bit of a theater kid. So sometimes I just act really weird and people would think that I'm drunk, but I'm not drunk. I'm just weird. So if I saw a coworker being like, I'm like, yeah, me too, dude. I feel like that sometimes too. I would just never assume that somebody's drunk. But if my coworker like came up to me and was like, whoa, dude, I'm super wasted, I'd be like, you shouldn't be drunk at work. You should go home. Like, tell the manager. That's probably what I would do. If there was work that desperately needed to be done, I would just do it. Because what are you going to do? They're already drunk. They may have made the mistake, but you have to deal with what's going on right now. Aiden is a baby. Yeah, well, there's some people in here who are younger than me, and they wouldn't think I'm a baby. 2002, best year to be born in. That's sarcasm, by the way. COVID throughout high school and university, and then AI takes our jobs when we graduate, and the housing market is terrible, and the economy's broken, and America is terrible. So, yeah, actually, if you had the choice, probably choose to be born earlier. I'm just autistic. I sound monotone. That's funny. Yeah, if you're good enough to be friends, why not go back to friends if you both agree something more intimate doesn't work? Totally, I agree. Dinosaur streamer. Yeah, see, there you go. I'm younger than 25, so you're older than me. I'm actually only 24. I turned 24 in January. No, 2001 is the best year to be born in. No, Salty Dog, you suffered with the same things that I did. You know that 2001 was not a good year. What do you guys think would be the best year to be born in? Like, there's something to be said about, you know, being born in, like, the 60s or the 50s. Because on the plus side, you get to live in the boomer generation where the economy was huge. You could buy 2 houses for like a week's worth of work. But then on the other hand, you know, times back then were a little rough for certain minorities, and everyone was smoking cigarettes, and they didn't have the internet. So like, would you make that trade? I technically didn't date my last love interest, but he ended up hurting me through miscommunication. However, we're still friends because we vibe more as friends. Yeah. I'm sorry that he hurt you through the miscommunication. That's unfortunate. That sounds really sucky. But yeah. True, a lot of school days with no lunch. 2069. Ah! Guys, are we gonna live to 2069? The 1950s baby boomer era, I guess. Unless you're a minority or disabled, yeah. Yeah. And also in the 50s, you know, if you were a woman, that sucks. That sucks. 2003 was a pretty good year. But Minre, you had to suffer all the same stuff that we did. $26,700. Just starts crying. And this, folks, is why I don't sketch on stream. Line art and coloring is great. And then the sketching is like, no thanks. I suck. It's garbage town. You know what? I'm just gonna... Okay, you know what, Aiden? If it's bad and you don't like it, then it doesn't need to be perfect, right? And you can just sketch it super loosely, right? If you're gonna erase it anyway, then just, you know, have fun with it. And maybe go fast so that at least you can get it done. And then you can say, oh, this looks bad. And then you can erase it and then actually make progress, alright? But you gotta finish it one way or another. So just freaking sketch the thing. The people are watching. And as fun as it is to talk about getting married, it's never gonna happen. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually a joke. It might happen. Might. We don't know. Oof, that looks worse. Oof. Oof. Okay, whatever. But a lot of good shows came out in 2003. That's true, actually. We did kind of have a really good childhood. It's unfortunate that the, like, early Gen Zs, which is, like, late 90s, early 2000s, had social media when we were, like, in our teens. Like, we weren't fully developed, and then, when we're, like, 14, we have Instagram and stuff, which isn't good for us. But at least we didn't have it while we were, like, children. Like, I didn't get my first phone until I was 13 years old, so I never used social media until I was, like, technically a teenager, I guess. So I had a very enriched childhood. I played outside a lot, and played a lot of Play-Doh. When is Generation Sigma coming? That's gonna be the most based generation. Can I say, though, I am kind of very proud of Gen Z. Like, we've had to deal with a lot of shit. I like that our sense of humor is, like, coping with how terrible the world is. And I also like how we're, like, not... The general sentiment is Gen Zs don't want to raise their kids to be iPad kids, you know? We don't want them to be addicted to screens. We also kind of get along well with the other generations. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, this generation sucks, and the next generation's cringe, and when I was your age, I was way better, and lots of other generations do that. I feel like Gen Z kind of doesn't do that. Like, I have millennial friends, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, you guys, that was so millennial of you to say. That's really funny. But, like, we get along. And I have cousins who are Gen Alpha, and yes, they're a little bit brain rotted, but I think they can overcome it. I think it's more of their circumstance more than a fault of their own. Rip Gen Beta. We watch, we judge, we ramble, and we throw things. The cycle of life. True. Does Club Penguin count as social media? No, it doesn't, because Club Penguin was amazing. Can I call you Derry? Derry, were you a Club Penguin kid? Because, oh my gosh, I was. I talk about Club Penguin a lot. And I love it. Still to this day. The Club Penguin Halloween parties and Christmas parties were the bomb. Such good music, such good events, such good community. Waddle on. Everyone, waddle on. Return to monkey. There's a lot of parents I've seen that let their toddlers be on TikTok, and it's so bad. Yeah, toddlers on TikTok? No. That's the age where they need to sprint around the house and chuck Lego at the walls. They need to explore their physicality and learn, like, how space works. Not stare at a screen. That's so harmful. I technically could have started using social media before I was 10. The idea sounded stupid to me. Talk with my friends. I could also just walk to their house and do the same thing, right? I also wonder if it's like, maybe we used to be more social. Like, I would hang out with my buddy from school all the time. He lived like 5 blocks away, but I would get home from school, do a little bit of homework, eat my supper, and then I'd call him on our landline phone, and then I'd walk over there, and we'd like play outside. And it was the best. And now I'm doing all these dopamine fasts to try to get back to where I was when I was 7 years old. Which is so funny. Anything before grade 7 is a blur. That's so real. Got a membership? Did you also beg your parents for it and then have to get it on and off? I have played the fan revamps. They're actually really fun. If you know, you know. Yeah. Some of them are a little sketchy. I only use a junk email for the Club Penguin new ones. Did you do what I did with my Minecraft account and make the password your username? Uh-oh! I don't remember, but I think it was the bare minimum for a password. Yeah, and also, I mean, those just aren't very secure in general. That'll happen. It's nice to have a junk email, though. I genuinely am... Ugh, I'm, like, tweaking right now. But you know what? I'm just gonna keep drawing. At the end of the day, that's all you can do. Hair. Hayor. We'll fix it in post. That's how that works, right?
Wow.
Wow. Hi, Willie. Was that his name? I think it was Willie, right? Okay, just a sketch. Just a sketch. Nice and loose. I'm still salty, haha, about losing my first Minecraft account. Oh, I would be too. That sounds so bad. I remember I got locked out of my first Minecraft account because when it asked for your security questions, one of the answers for my security questions was Taekwondo. And when I was a kid, I didn't spell it right. I think I spelled it wrong and added a hyphen in a weird place. So when I was trying to, like, recover my account, or, like, even just sign in to like, change my skin, it would ask for the security questions, and I was locked out for, like, Probably 8 years. Because what happened was I had a Gmail account, which was my only email when I was a kid. And then for some freaking reason, they were like, oh, you're under 13. No one under the age of 13 is allowed to have a Gmail account, so we're getting rid of it forever. So that email is gone and cannot be used. Literally, it's disappeared forever. So I just didn't have my email anymore. Google just Control-Z'd my email address. So I couldn't get into it. And couldn't use it for Minecraft. So then I was trying to reset it, attach it to a new email address, and then it would ask me for my security questions. And I freaking spelled it wrong. So I couldn't get into any of the security questions. And then one day when I was like 15, I sat down for an hour and just typed Taekwondo every way that I could possibly. And I got it. Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch, Turtle. I appreciate that. I could use it, honestly. Oh, it feels good. Oh, I'm gonna have such a long day tomorrow. I gotta drive to the city and meet up with my friend. Actually, I gotta pack my bag tonight. I gotta drive to the city. I gotta meet up with everybody in the band. Then we gotta pile everything into the van. Then we gotta drive 3 hours. Then we gotta hang out and set everything up. We gotta do sound test. And then we gotta be there from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. for the show, and then we gotta take everything down, and then we gotta go to the hotel, and then we gotta sleep, and then I gotta drive back first thing in the morning. But I'm getting paid, so that's good. Ooh, rip a baby account. I got the game beta 1.6. I still remember when I first got Minecraft, it was 1.2.4. That was my update, baby. That's when I joined. During the diamond era of Minecraft. I think they just added name tags and bunnies when I got it. Oh, that's fun. May I ask an art question? Absolutely. Anything your heart desires, throw it my way. I'd be happy to give you my best answer. I wonder if I just need to sometimes my style, I like it to be really cute, and the best way I can describe it is squishy. I like it to be cute and squishy. You know, like the Stardew Valley mods. What if I just like move it down? Nope, don't like that. What if I go like that? Maybe it's the neck, maybe it's the body. If I shave that down just a little bit. This is just practice, guys. Don't worry. That looks a little better. I think that's close to when I stopped playing for a long time. I stopped roughly when they extended the height limit to 256 and added the wither. Oh, really? That's actually pretty early still. I watched a YouTube video that I found very interesting that was talking about like the different ages of Minecraft. And I think it was beta, like early beta to what was it? Like the 1.0 release was like the golden era, and then 1.0 to 1.8 was the diamond era, and then that's when Microsoft acquired it. And then that was the dark ages of Minecraft for a while. And then there was a renaissance, a Minecraft renaissance, and then now we're in Minecraft modern age. That game will truly never die. I love that game. It is so fun. And lately, this is kind of crazy, how when you get older, you start doing like homework for your video games. But I have been watching videos on like how to play Minecraft for longer than just the 2-week phase. Because it's kind of sad that you would play Minecraft for 2 weeks and then get bored of it and start all over again. And I'm like, I feel like this is not what Minecraft used to be. It used to be so much more than this. So I've been watching videos on like the best ways to, you know, ensure that you play for longer. And there were some really good tips. It was like, do something you've never done before, like try learning all the redstone. And they were like, make a building for every, like, don't chuck all your tables in one house and call it good. Like, make a specific building for your enchantment table. Then you have like a project, and they're like, make lore for your world, you know? Make a reason. Maybe there's a war going on and you need to build walls around all of the villages and stuff. Lots of really interesting advice that I thought was quite helpful. Is it possible to have too many motifs in a character design, especially a lot of juxtaposing motifs? Yes. It is possible to have too many motifs. Sometimes you look at an OC, at an original character, and they've got, like, maybe they're, like, half zombie, and they're a demon, and they're a warrior, princess, Feywild, from the Mario universe, guardian angel, Doctor Who creature. And it's just like, there's too much going on. It makes the design too busy. Especially if you've got, like, I think, everything in life is good in balance. So a good character design could be like, you take a regular looking character and you think, okay, what's the lore behind this person? Like, maybe it's sci-fi and they have an ocular implant, or maybe they're a warrior and they got into battle, or they're like a descendant of a dragon or something. These are like all things that could change the way they look. If they got the ocular implant, maybe they have heterochromia, where one eye is a different color, and that could be a really interesting character trait. Or with them being a warrior, maybe they have lots of scars, like battle wounds. Or if they're descendant from dragons, maybe they have scales somewhere, like part scales on their shoulders or something. Have you seen those images where it's a black and white wash, and then they add a little bit of red? It's very traditional Japanese ink wash, where the landscape is sort of a black and white with gray midtones, and then, like, the moon will be red, or a tree's leaves will be red, or a reflection in the water will be red. And the red pops so much stronger because the rest of the image is relatively plain. Sometimes I approach character design like that. I like to have a regular humanoid looking character and give them a streak in their hair, or give them an eye that's a different color, or a big tattoo, or maybe just a statement piece of their outfit. And you have that one thing that contrasts really well. Now imagine if that picture was all red. If everything was done in red, right? You'd lose the contrast. Because the focal point is... Because the focal point is everything, there is no focal point. So I think you can have a design that's too busy. So you need balance. It's actually like a key element in art. You know, you have like perspective, focus, balance is one of them. Do you play Hytale? I have not. Or are you asking Derry? I played a good amount of Hypixel Skyblock during the late pandemic. I also tried doing... Oh yeah, Hypixel. Oh man, Hypixel. That was good times. I also tried doing a Through Time series where I needed to put at least 60 hours in each version, starting with Alpha 1.0. Whoa! I'm sure you'd be very familiar with, like, the differences in the updates, at least. That sounds really cool. It's a fun idea. But yeah, so I think... I'm trying to get into Redstone and learn that, because it's something I haven't ever tackled before and was a little bit intimidated by, but I was like, you know what, maybe this is the perfect time, maybe this is the right opportunity. I'll play the Hive. Yes! I played on the Hive a lot, actually. Isn't the Hive the one that had the, it's like musical chairs in a way. That might have been Shotbow or something, but it was like, they played music, and then they give you a color, and it would be like blue, and you had to find blue to stand on, and then when the music cut out, everything that wasn't blue would disappear. The floor would disappear, and you'd fall through, and then you're out of that round. And then you keep going until there's like 1 or 2 people left. I loved that game. That was my favorite. That was the Hive? Oh, That was great. I also remember there was like a ghost one on the Shotbow network where one person would randomly be chosen to be the ghost and they'd be invisible and they'd get to like jump around and cling to the walls and stuff, and they'd have to try to kill all the players. And the players couldn't see the ghost, but they had all of their own little tricks and tools and layouts that they could use to try to find the ghost and kill the ghost. My redstone knowledge is still stuck in beta 1.7. I can't build for shit. I can. It's just as large as hell and has a bunch of standard logic gates. And that's totally fine, too. It does take a lot to get into redstone. I've been, like, while I'm working on videos and stuff and making drawings, I've been watching tutorials on, like, what all of the redstone parts do. And I think today is the first time in my life that I have actually understood what a redstone comparator is for. Or not even what it's for, what it does. I still don't know what it's for. I'm hoping to get there eventually. Redstone is so complex. But I actually can't wait for when I, like, understand how it works and I can make really cool contraptions. That's going to be so much fun. I made a automatic sugarcane farm, which I've never done before. Which is very basic, to be fair. It's just like sugarcane with an observer up at the top and then a hopper below it. But hey, you gotta start somewhere. I've never done that before, and I've done it now. And I also just love the idea of adding lore to your world. Like, I was brewing some potions in Minecraft and thought to myself, Netherwort is kind of creepy. Like, Netherwort gives me bad vibes. Almost as though I don't want to grow it next to my other crops because it's going to corrupt them or something. So I was like, what kind of person would grow a Netherwort? Well, probably like an evil wizard, right? So then I was like, what if I play into that? And I make, like, a laboratory under my base, which I'm still working on. And I'm like, that's where I'm going to grow my netherwort. And I'm going to put, like, redstone torches down there and spider webs and old bookshelves. Like, I want to make it look eerie and creepy. And I'm like, I haven't done that before. Whenever I play Minecraft, I try to make all my builds look really cute and wholesome. But I'm like, what if I did a scary one this time? Some redstone on the floor to be like a, you know, blood like they would do in the old adventure maps, in the old Minecraft adventure maps. Could be fun. Could be the move. I basically break it down into a programming problem and try to build the circuitry, while modern redstone feels like a million puzzle pieces that interact in a million different ways. Yeah, it really does. They added a lot of new stuff, that's true. Redstone is so complicated. Most I've ever built was a pressure plate door while following instructions from the redstone book. I had the redstone book! I still have it kicking around here somewhere. This character is meant to be girlish and tomboyish, a combination of high-class culture and low culture, the type of girl that wants to be girly but she's from a rural working-class environment. She's girly in the same way your grandma's house is girly. It's kind of vintage and maybe tacky to people that don't get it. I think that's fun. I actually like that idea for a character, though. Like, I can totally see that going both ways. Maybe you have somebody who's, you know, like, low income and they aspire to be royalty, or the opposite, you have someone who's a princess but they don't like the princess life and they want to be a commoner. There are a lot of fun juxtapositions you can do with those character traits, so I don't think that's too much at all. If that's related to your previous question of, like, do you think it's too much, I don't think so. I think that's actually super fun. It's just when, if you want to have an OC that's inspired by Lord of the Rings, go for it. If you want to have an OC that's inspired by Lord of the Rings and My Hero Academia, you can make that work, right? Maybe they have like a sword and they're an elf and that's their quirk or something. You have to be able to do it right, but you can do that. Once it starts to get to like 3, 4, 5 different ideas, different fandoms, it becomes too muddled. And your character, by having too much personality, loses all of their personality. Because then they become less believable and it just becomes complicated. It's like a character, let's say you have a character who like loses his wife. Maybe he's betrayed and loses his wife. That's an interesting character, right? We kind of understand what that character wants. They're still human enough and believable enough that you can explore all the emotions, the side effects that come along with that. But then let's say you have someone who's like a god who loses his wife and is betrayed and is also infinitely powerful and is also a demon and also from like Sherlock. Then it's like, I don't understand this character anymore because there's too much going on. Nether wart grows out of soul sand. 'Tis a fungus that feeds on souls. Yeah, exactly. Not exactly the kind of thing that would be kosher. I wish to take inspiration from my Nana's girliness and my pop's woodsy man cave aesthetic. That's really cool. Yeah, like, I like that. There are certainly ways to fit that into one design. You could also just have 2 different designs. Like, you know, people are multifaceted. Maybe one day they like to wear a long sundress and another day they go with the more, like you say, the woodsy man cave aesthetic. You could definitely mix both. I think it would make for an interesting character design. I do like to make multiple outfits, but even if you like, that would be really cool, and I think you could have a lot of fun with that. If you did want to make one outfit, I think it's still doable. I would say pick a base, and do one aesthetic with the base, and then pick accents and do another one with the accents. So if you want to do the woodsy man cave aesthetic, you know, I don't know if this is exactly what you're going for, but if you're doing man cave, you could have like, you know, like a flannel shirt and maybe ripped jeans. And then if you want to add some girliness, you know, you put a bow, you put a ribbon somewhere. Could do like rolled up flannel sleeves with ribbons tied to the sleeves and like braided or curled hair or something. Or you can go the opposite where, I don't know what woodsy man cave like not artifacts, accessories would look like. Beanie maybe. That would be cute. A big sundress with a beanie on. You could do that too. I don't know. There are many possibilities. But yeah, I think that's totally doable. That's totally achievable. You could do that, and I think it would work. I also enjoy making multiple outfits. It's why I've taken so freaking long to decide on a maiden outfit. Also, I just don't get to do female character designs very often, and they're so freaking fun. And I love all the hairstyles and outfit possibilities that come with it. I was just thinking like camo with pink lace. Thanks for the piece of advice. Of course. Always happy to offer my 2 cents. Camo with pink lace is a very fun idea. You can do like military-esque gear. Very heavy duty, lots of belts. But then on the belts, you've got pink lace and ribbons. Oh, wow. Hi, 3. I haven't forgotten. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I honestly make characters based on items I have. That is a really fun process. So is that like you receive a gift or get something cool or find something and then imagine the character that would have that? It's really interesting to hear about people's processes for making characters. Because I don't really have many OCs besides like Dungeons and Dragons characters. And they're like all fantasy-esque. I don't really have non-fantasy characters. And most artists have like loads of OCs that they love. I'm a bit of a black sheep in that way, I suppose. I'm tired AF, it's 5 a.m. I'd be tired too. Speaking of tired. Oh, Arso, thank you for the hydrate. Welcome in. Good to see you. Drinkus. I am drinkissing. I did that once. Made my old laptop an OC. That's so fun. Mix of iBot and an aperture core. Way past its warranty and it's bitter about it. That's a really fun idea. You got an old laptop, so their personality is old and cranky. Like how old laptops complain. That's really funny. It's really unfortunate because there's new people hopping in, but I think I am going to have to send you over to Bean. We're gonna raid Desto Tim because I have to pack my bag for tomorrow, and I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow, and I have laundry to do tonight. So if I want to get enough sleep for my big day tomorrow, that means I'm going to have to get off right away and get that started immediately. Like, design and the color of the item I use are fairly similar, but I also add some of my own touches to it. Yeah, for sure. That sounds really cool. Rips out a thermal sensor. Are you overheating now? To your poor laptop? But thank you all very much for being here. I hope to see you all again on Sunday for my next stream. Stardew Sunday will most likely be. And I will probably be very tired for that stream. I may be grumpy tired. I may be loopy tired. Either way, you might want to pop in and see how that's going. Anyway, thank you all very much for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the stream, Aiden. Hope you have a good one. Yeah, of course. I hope you have a good one as well. Had an OC on my laptop, it would probably look like an ex-warlord. That is so real. Anyway, thank you all for sticking around. Don't forget that Raiden is our raid message. Everybody go say hi to Bean for me, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.